Close circles.
Look, let's just be fair. She was running around that California scene when she was young, in her 20s, working her way through law school on her knees.
Holy crap. Uncle O'Grimacy.
What?
They would.
Fuck is that? Can't be real. Okay, either way. So she didn't have cocaine hippos, though.
Nope.
That would have been cool. Oh, could you imagine Betty White?
Wasn't that Pablo Escobar in Colombia?
Yes. So imagine Betty White usurping the cocaine hippos of Escobar.
With Betty White's battle bears?
Sounds like a ridiculous fucking AI thing that
I'm
needs
in.
to be made.
Tell me something, one of those that you're, oh yeah, that could be many, I don't give a shit how many ones. Also, how awesome is Sean? Because he's pretty fucking cool, don't you think? Huh? Huh, Jeff? Pretty cool?
Douche canoe.
I don't know. But you know what? Just on that note, on the personal growth, I still struggle with some of my issues, especially like I have self-loathing, but not necessarily in the way you did. It's mostly like I hate. It's like I figure the reason people don't stay around is because I suck. So whoever I am must be terrible. So I hate that. Because everybody fucking leaves. You know, I have abandonment issues.
Mm-hmm.
So when I lose...
Okay, bye.
When I lose all my...
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats.
Well, I mean, he is still young, and there's only like 10,000 movies in existence.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what do you do? It's like, where do you start? You know? All right, but I do know where you never want to start your day, how I did the other day.
I saw.
Determining that there was a data breach, and I had some minor identity theft.
Oh, that's not what I saw.
No. Now, luckily, according to the thing, nothing has happened yet. I was just part of a massive, like billion-person data breach. So that's fun, because I got 2 notifications from Chase. They're like, "Hey, by the way," you know, because I have credit monitoring and all that,
Yeah,
identity monitoring
got
stuff.
the same stuff. Pretty much, they need authorization to pull your credit and all that.
Yeah. So that's already all set up, but we'll see what happens. Because I posted and then like somebody thought that like I had my like credit card info stolen. It's like, no, that's an easy solution. It's like when they get your social security number,
Right.
God knows what they could manage to do. So I mean, I've had debit cards taken before, and that's not a problem. But at least now on the app, you can just lock your card, so
Right.
even if they get the info, they can't spend
We
it.
do that. I have every single transaction that goes through my bank, I get an alert.
Yeah.
So if I see something weird, I'm up to the minute on what's going on.
Yeah, mine gets fraud alerts and stuff like that. And what's funny is it's good enough to know that me just go. It realizes at this point that I get around, because it used to be like, hey, somebody's spending your money in Huntsville or Cleveland or whatever. It's like it's figured out now that I go far enough. But I think because of the app on my phone, it now recognizes where I'm at.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's the only reason it would make sense, because we went all the way up to Oklahoma and I didn't get like a fraud alert or anything.
Oh, that's where I had one of my first cases of my card getting stolen.
Yeah.
Had to come home in the company truck with no money to my name.
No money.
That sucked.
Oh, and well, unlike last week where you accidentally overpaid your credit card, so you had no money in a different way.
Yeah. Well, that reverted back.
Yeah, you could put it back.
Well, it did it on its own, and
They're like, oh, hey, you didn't need to pay
hey,
that.
you screwed up.
So wait, in that case, 'cause I didn't get to really ask you about it. Did you pay it off twice by accident? Is that
Pretty
what
much
happened?
same amount.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying, like, did you have a remainder, or was that it?
No, that was it. I was
So you had a
you know, they showed
you had
your
a
balance as you have a balance of this. It showed me negative.
Yeah, that's what I was asking, because that's how I had my my Best Buy bank account. That's what I called it, because auto pay was set up for years and I couldn't turn it off. I couldn't figure out how it was auto paying to my Best Buy credit card. So I would just get a check for $320 every 4 months. I would just get a check in the mail from Best Buy. Like, hey, stop paying us money. I'm like,
I'm trying.
I mean, technically that was great. I mean, I was just saving $80 a month.
Right.
And then I finally figured out where it was set up. Because I thought it was set up by a Best Buy's website. It wasn't. It was set up buried deep in my old Chase archives. So that's what happened there. Oh, Sean I just got a message from him. He just now heard what we did to his superpower.
Nice.
So hold on. I gotta read this. Hold on. This is.
Remind everybody again what the superpower and the con was.
Okay, so I got the same picture you did, with the watermelons.
Yeah.
The watermelon boob. So he said my offset makes me laugh just crying like a bitch in a backwards snuggie. Well, okay, so also this is a good time to bring this up because I told you and I still haven't gotten to the bottom of it. Episode 108, which was Offenders Assemble.
Yes.
For some reason got age restricted by YouTube. And I couldn't find a reason. I mean, I haven't re-listened to it again, so maybe there's something worse in there. Because it said it was community standards. So either we cussed somehow more than usual, or a lot in a very short amount of time. Because if you notice, Unsub does that sometimes.
Maybe it's the whole joystick thing.
That was episode 109.
That was Offenders Assemble, right?
It wasn't.
Okay.
Offenders Assemble was our first discussion about it.
Ah, okay.
Yep. So, but it also says if it's like something contains like sexual imagery or nudity, and like there is no imagery or nudity because we're on camera for less than 20 minutes and it's just two fat guys.
Yeah.
Even in the background, there's not like nudie pics or something.
Yeah, we don't do nudity. We keep our shirts on in the pool.
Yeah. I put on shirts to get in the pool. Multiple shirts, all of them.
Long sleeve. Sunburn
sleeve.
sucks.
Well, I mean, I'm already orange as it's going to get. So yeah, episode 108 got age restricted.
I mean, hell, we don't know what we're going to say half the damn time.
We definitely don't. Most of the time, we don't even have a plan.
Nope.
We just talk, and shit happens. I mean, sometimes I have, like today, we have prep done today.
A little
bit. So, but either way, I have no idea why it got age restricted. I'm gonna have to re-listen to it. I tried appealing. It was denied immediately. So I was like, damn, okay.
No.
Yeah, and then the funny thing is the best way to get a hold of YouTube if you need anything is not through email or anything else like that. It's Twitter. You go on Twitter, tag Team YouTube with your problem, and they're like, okay, let me see what it is. So they're like, hey, can you post the video and we'll check it out? I'm like, there you go. Here's your video. Find it. And they never got back to me. Or maybe it's buried in my email somewhere if they did.
Right.
But it's still age restricted, and I don't know why.
That's silly.
But I thought that episode 110, which was Captain Sweatpants, would be age restricted because we are talking about something slightly sexual. Well, what's even funnier is like we talked about nicknames for your junk, and that didn't get restricted.
That's what turned my mom off the podcast.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
She said that just didn't for me.
I mean, that was you and Sean's fault. Yeah. I provided nothing. I had nothing to contribute to that conversation. You guys did that. But either way, so that was fun. So okay, so look at it this way. Friday was like, oh hey, age restricted thing. Saturday was, oh hey, here's your data breach. Have fun. Mm-hmm. And then later in the day, way late at night, technically it was fucking 9:00 at night, we discover someone has hit our car in the parking lot.
That's what I saw you post.
Yeah. So I'll get into more depth about that here in a minute. But in the meantime, I got to do the intros.
Go for it.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Now You Made It Awkward podcast, episode 112. I am Shoky. You can follow me at all the Shoky-related links down below, including the It Doesn't Have to Make Sense channel or the Shoky Reviews channel. And, but if you want to, you can just subscribe to this one. That'd be great. We just gained like 3 subscribers last week.
Oh, sweet.
I think one of them was you. I think one of them was
No, I commented. I've been subscribed.
Oh, okay. So we got three subscribers because we had 89 last Monday. We have 93
Might
now.
be some people from the Legion.
I don't know. I can't tell who it is.
Well, if they get offended,
but I have also shared it a bit more, and because one of them may or may not be in y'all. I don't know because I didn't look.
Well, every time you share it, I I drop it right onto my
I know,
Facebook timeline.
But because we mentioned Inyol with his superpowers, he might have subscribed too.
Cool.
I don't know. I had to look to see who subscribed because usually I can see that stuff on the back end. But either way, that voice over there with the beard and the slick back hair over there is the Jefe.
Yes, sir.
El Jefino Grande.
Hefina?
Jefino.
Oh.
Masculine. You gotta go Jefino.
Okay.
I don't know if technically if that has any.
You speak poor Spanish.
I don't try to speak rich Spanish. But either way, you can follow him at Cry Havoc Kitchens on the Instagrams.
Yes, you can. I may do something eventually.
You might. We'll see. And of course, guys, if you want to write into the show with any questions, comments therein, you can do so at the NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail@gmail.com. It's on the screen. It makes a loud ding, and it's in the description down below, so you can absolutely write into this show if you would like. But we also take comments, questions, anything else like that, as we normally do. Wait, I know you're trying to jump on it. I said wait. Okay, now go. You can also hit us up at
the Now You Made It Awkward podcast on Facebook.
Correct.
Shoki will interact with you. I will sit and point fun.
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
It is 2 o'clock.
It's 2 o'clock. I knew it was going to happen.
Anywho's, Now You
Continue.
Made It Awkward podcast on Facebook. You can write us a message, leave us a voice message. One of us, most likely Shoki, will interact with you and or make fun of you.
I mean, technically, you can interact in the comments
I could.
as yourself. That's not a big deal.
Okay.
I mean,
Maybe.
whoop-de-doo. I mean, not like there's no like moderators or anything. It's just is what it is. But I did want to mention before we get to that message, because I did prime Sean with the message. He did not have a question this week. He's going to be taking part in the thing we've already got set up.
Okay.
So, but I did want to read that we do have some more comments from the last couple weeks, other than you. Comment.
Right after it dropped, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still awake.
Well, that and your extra gerb. Virginia Wolf 88 commented on the Porosos taste test, said, "Good review. I just got some of the vodka. Looking forward to trying it." So thank you, Virginia Wolf, whoever you might be. I doubt that's the Virginia Wolf because I think she's dead. Mm-hmm. She might be dead. There was somebody. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this to you or not, or if I said it here. I said there was a guy, Nag Chump a lot. Said I tried it. It made me quit drinking completely.
Well,
So I said, "How is life less blurry?" That was conveniently round about the same time you also stunted your drinking.
yeah.
So yeah, and I don't think I mentioned it, but Dormammu commented on episode 107 that was with Sean, and he said the Sean cast, which that's not very accurate. It was not the Sean cast.
That was the drunk cast.
Yeah. Oh, there was another guy who also commented that he prefers the Kirkland's brand vodka
Okay.
from Costco.
May have to get some.
Yes.
I do like a good vodka.
And I remember somebody mentioned a long time ago if we could compare Porosos to the Crystal vodka. So I'm probably going to pick some.
What,
of
like
that up.
Crystal Skull?
Yeah, the Crystal Skull vodka.
That's got like a vanilla mint lift on it.
Well, if you don't, they have non-flavored ones.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually I found this out while doing a Googles that there was like a multitude of flavors of that.
I may
vodka.
invest in one because I want to keep the bottle.
Yeah, there's a liquor store that is right next to a place that I go to for work all the time. And I know for a fact they had it there for like $25, so I'll probably
Hell.
snag some this week.
I think I need to make a beta tank out of
Well,
it.
what I might need to do is, in fact, finish off a bottle or two to clear out the fucking bar cart. The bar cart is very full.
It is foolish.
We're using the third shelf at this point.
Hopefully tomorrow we're going to polish off one of those.
No. Tomorrow we're drinking beer.
Oh.
So, guys, actually look forward to a new thing we're going to do for a taste test video. Will should be here. He did commit to it. Will should be here. We're going to be doing a rank 6 video on some beers. So,
I think tomorrow will be the return of the Kool-Aid shirt.
that would be funny.
Yes.
That would be funny. I don't have a Kool-Aid.
You need a Grimace shirt so bad.
I'm not Grimace. Will is Grimace. He's the giant purple chicken nugget or whatever the fuck Grimace was supposed to be. I think that's what they said Grimace was technically supposed to be was a nugget.
Right.
I think. But why would he be giant and purple?
Oh.
Guys, tell us the deep lore of Grimace, whether you know it or not.
Yeah, we need his
In the
backstory.
In the comments, give us your backstory for the Grimace character from McDonald's.
Grimace returns from war. Gets no support. His wife leaves him.
I don't know if Grimace came in at the same time that like the Hamburglar and like Mayor McCheese and Burger Cop.
Rebel.
I don't know if he came in then or after that, because I think he came in later. Because remember the bird chick who was like a cheerleader as well? You remember her?
No.
She was like a yellow bird, had red hair like Wendy's, and she was like a cheerleader. You don't remember that character? Yeah, I don't remember her name. We should probably look that up. I think it was Beaky.
I think you're making shit up.
I'm not. It was a third character. So it was Ronald. So they eliminated the other like.
Wait, which world on the multiverse?
It might have been.
Can't be this.
It might have been the old universe. I don't know.
Pre-84.
But so there was Ronald originally. Obviously, if you go back to the old school, like what was it, the 60s version where he looked like a cracked out real clown. That was terrifying. But then of course it's probably earlier than that. But either way. Then you get to like the Mayor McCheese and Burger Town people. And for some reason, Hamburglar was like mostly human, but the other people were made of food. And then there was like the Fry Guys, I think. Maybe I'm just making that part up. But no, I think it was in the 80s they created Grimace and the bird chick that I don't remember her name. Are you Googling it?
I am.
Okay.
There it is. It's like a duck.
Yeah. Does it have a name?
Give me a sec.
But is it not how I described it? Looks kind of like a cheerleader, red hair, yellow bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not crazy.
You are not crazy.
You just didn't pay attention.
There's a pirate guy with a parrot.
Pirate guy?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Give me a sec.
Oh, is it another burger character?
Yeah.
We'll bring this up on the screen for you guys.
Yeah. Birdie the early bird.
Birdie. Oh, that's right. Okay. So she wasn't a cheerleader. She's like a pilot.
And then the Fry Kids.
Fry Kids. Okay, so I said Fry Guys. It's Fry Kids.
There was Mayor McCheese.
I mentioned Mayor
Officer Big Mac.
It was Officer Big Mac.
Old school Professor McDonald's.
Oh, wow. Oh, I remember that. Okay.
Captain Crook. Good grief. They were going way back.
Well, when you get past the human characters, it gets weird.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so what was the name of the bird again? Birdie?
Birdie the early bird.
Okay, so she's a pilot. She's not a cheerleader. Like I think there was a cheerleader variant at some point. We're going in like Freddy Fazbear situation.
Holy crap. Uncle O'Grimacy.
What?
The fuck? They would
fuck is that can't be real. Okay, either way,
I'll send you the link.
Send me the link and we'll look at that later.
Holy crap.
All right, but in the meantime, let's look at our own characters here when we have the fat cam.
Hey, what's up?
And we don't have any visible bright lights in the fat cam.
No, in our face, just a phone right where my, glorious beard should.
That's your fault for leaning forward slightly. Or actually, the phone might be slightly forwarder. Forwarder? I don't do words today.
Words are hard.
Words am hard. All right, either way, guys. Okay, so, like I was mentioning earlier, I did have Sean send in a thing because we completely glossed over James Earl Jones' death because we found out literally at the end of episode 109. Like, we finished episode 109.
Got up,
looked at the phone, James Earl Jones was dead. And part of me was like, maybe we should just hop on right quick. And, like, I think you had to get out the door, and so did I. We were running late that day.
Yeah, we had places to be, people to do.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Mayor McCheese.
I stand by it.
Mayor McCheese. Either way, so James Earl Jones did pass away. I wouldn't say sadly, but I mean, the man was like 90, and he was old.
I'm really starting to have trouble with people getting wholeheartedly upset that all these old actors are passing away. It's not a surprise. They are old. Their hardware starts wearing out. Even though they may be with it mentally.
I think their software might be wearing out too. We talked about that.
True.
Telomeres.
Yeah.
Genetic memory.
But man, I don't know. Instead of being sad, be thankful for all the, the memories and the legacy they left behind instead of just getting butthurt that they're dead and won't be here anymore.
I get the idea when people...
like Betty White, she was ancient.
Nobody thought she was going to die because she was taking the souls of the previous people. Betty White was staying alive by absorbing the souls of other people. That's why they died and she didn't.
That and her battle bears, they kept her alive.
Yeah, and the alligators or crocodiles, whatever they were.
Dude, she was a neat lady.
Yes. So she didn't have cocaine hippos though.
Nope.
That would have been cool. Oh, could you imagine Betty White?
Wasn't that Pablo Escobar in Colombia?
Yes. So imagine Betty White usurping the cocaine hippos of Escobar
with Betty White's battle bears.
Sounds like a ridiculous fucking AI thing that
I'm
needs
in.
to be made. This needs to be an AI image. Sometimes you guys should probably take the crazy shit we say and turn it into AI images and send it to us.
Please.
We need a Reddit. If we had a Reddit, this would all be taken care of. Okay, so either way, what we wanted to do was what a lot of people do, and we're going to do our top 3, because I think that's all we managed to put together, realistically. So we're going to do a top 3, 2-5, James Earl Jones. I said roles. It doesn't have to be movies. It can be roles. Because...
Yeah, I got 3 or 4 that really stick out.
Yeah. So let's... I'll let you do yours.
Okay.
I'll do mine, and then we'll listen to whatever Sean said.
Sweet.
So
well,
go
my
ahead.
3 movies you grew up with. Coming to America. He was excellent in that.
See, I never grew up with that movie.
Really, it was a funny movie.
Never saw it.
Good time.
I wasn't a giant Eddie Murphy fan.
Field of Dreams, of course.
Okay, so remind me in that. Was he one of the old ball players that came, or ghost people, or was he part of the movie?
He was part of the movie.
Okay, because I've never seen the entire movie. I've just seen the last 5 minutes over and over.
But he played with all these old ball players. He was really young when he played with all of them.
Okay, I didn't know if he was a ghost or not.
And I could be wrong. But and the Sandlot.
Okay.
Great role. You don't see much of him. But
Another baseball player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just an excellent movie.
So, I wonder if anybody's ever tried to say that The Sandlot and Field of Dreams were the same universe.
Wow.
If he was the same character in both movies.
And then
But he wasn't blind in the other one.
The 4th was, I mentioned before, just a one-off.
Oh, you got 4. Okay.
Of a cameo when James Earl Jones showed up on The Big Bang Theory, and he ran around with Sheldon all over town, goofing off, having a blast.
Yeah, because
it was just really neat seeing him being, joyful and happy and just a silly son of a bitch, ding dong ditching Carrie Fisher and shit like that was funny.
Well, because the funny thing is, after you mentioned that, clearly Facebook was listening.
Yeah, so you saw it.
And I saw the short of that. It wasn't the whole thing. It was just him and Sheldon in the restaurant.
Just the end of it with Carrie Fisher. It's not funny anymore, James. And he goes, then why am I laughing?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But no, I like just the part of it at the beginning with when he first runs into him in the thing, and he can't really talk. He can just nod. Yeah. And
So
he's
you like Star
so
Wars?
you like Star Wars too?
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah. And I forgot what he just basically was made out to be like just a fucking huge troublemaker.
Yeah.
Like this is all it was. That was just funny. So
Do you
because
think there's any validity in that? He seems like a guy that have fun goofing with people.
the hard part with any actor who's played that broad a range of roles is hard to know which one was closest to who he really is, because he plays a ton of serious roles.
He does, and
Which
in his off time, he's got to offset that seriousness with just some abject fun silliness.
Serious.
So Siri.
Siri.
And so Ronry.
So Siri. We're just setting off people's Apple phones right and left. Siri, what are James Earl Jones's biggest roles? There we go. Either way, just making sure nothing in here is suddenly going off because I own no Apple products, so that would be weird. All right, so for me,
I do it to my best friend all the time. He
yeah?
hates it. I'll go Siri, and I'll go bloop. I'll go penis, 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 penis.
I'm gonna have to bleep that. We're gonna get age restricted just for saying penis. Actually, I gotta wonder because one of those promos, maybe it wasn't 108, maybe it was 109. I said penis in the intro.
Yeah.
It might have been that. I said penis, not anything rude. Either way, so for me, in no particular order, realistically, I'd say The Sandlot for sure. I'll give honorable mention to Lion King. Just duh.
Because it's one of the first movies we watched as a child growing up, and
That is an early one for sure.
Yeah.
Did your stomach just gurgle?
yeah.
Okay, it was audible. So I'll give it to the Lion King. I will say the obligatory Darth Vader, because I mean he's even in death he's still Darth Vader, because he retired from acting but sold his voice likeness to Disney to use in perpetuity. So he can be Vader even after death. What was that face?
That was just different. Wasn't as
A little watered down at this point.
Yeah, it just wasn't as bright as I was thinking it was going to be. Real smooth, mellow.
Yeah.
Good little tequila.
Yeah, it's not bad. All right, so and then my top one that I thought of earlier, the one I remembered, was when he. Hold on, I have it in my notes. I have it in my notes because I want to get it right. So he was on an episode of House.
Yes, he was.
So he played Dibala, an African dictator,
Yes.
who was coming over here to negotiate whatever. Ended up getting sick. Looks like it was possibly maybe an assassination attempt on him.
I remember that story.
Yeah,
I really do.
He was coughing up blood. Like somebody tried to assassinate him, and then like they stopped that person, and then he coughed up blood. They took him to the hospital. They looked at him. They tried all kinds of different things, like it is like a House episode does, and then couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. Then somebody else tried to come in and kill him again because he was basically genociding another tribe, effectively.
And if I remember right, Dr. Chase
Yes. So Chase ends up
letting
he didn't let him die. He took somebody else's blood sample that had the disease they claimed.
Whoa.
And they treated him for that disease, and the treatment killed him, and they couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So he actually, and that ended up like ruining his career at the time, ruining his marriage to what's her face,
Burnett Hottie.
redhead, brunette,
Yeah.
whichever. She was redhead at the time.
I can't remember her name.
And she was blonde eventually. It was Alice Cameron.
Okay.
Yeah, Allison Cameron. So basically, like, I remember that because part of it was when someone came into the hospital to attack him, he like had this like bold, like stands up and like tries to kind of fight a little bit. Like
he's not going to go meekly into the.
oh, he wasn't. He was
Yeah.
basically fighting. You know, it was he was a terrifying like dictator character. You know,
Emphasis on dick.
very,
Yeah.
very. But then he had like very calmed and reasoned discussion with Chase, and then he turned it around and did the evil dictator stuff again. Eventually, he's like he started feeling sympathetic for the guy, even though he's evil. And then he's like, well, nope, never mind. I can't let this guy
Right.
live. So either way, I really like that role because, well, not really like House, but it was like pretty different. Like for him to not play, I mean, technically he's always been voicing Vader, but I never saw him as playing Vader, you know, in the same way.
You know, tangentially, I just saw a cameo by a character from House, the lady who played Dr. Cuddy.
Yeah.
She was in and still is in 911 Lone Star with Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's
And before that, there was Liv Tyler,
yeah.
played the paramedic captain.
So that's Lisa Edelstein, if
Yeah.
I recall. Yeah.
I'm bad with names. Huh? Characters, yes. Names, no.
She's got very Jewish. Well, I think because her name was
No shit.
I think because her name was Lisa in the show as
Lisa
well.
Cuddy, yeah.
Lisa Cuddy, and I think her actual name is Lisa. Speaking of TV shows, I did just start watching The Penguin, which is the sequel series to the Batman movie.
Okay.
So if you haven't seen that, basically the series picks up immediately where the Batman movie left off. If you're familiar with the character of the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, but it's in this universe, like, 'cause it's very different from the main.
Oh, so not Danny DeVito?
No,
Okay.
very not. I mean, he's got a fucked up leg, so he waddles a little bit. He does have his face is all scarred up because he's been fucked up, and he does have kind of a pointy nose.
Okay.
So like he's not a mutant who was raised by penguins in the sewer. He's just a fucking gangster who's. It's basically like very Sopranos-esque, but in the Batman world.
And see, that's probably one of the reasons I'm having trouble getting into those movies. I wasn't a big fan of The Sopranos, The Godfather, any of that.
Why?
I'm just not. Couldn't get into it.
Well, with the Batman, it was a very more realistic take on the Batman universe. You know, starting over again because of a brand new universe, and where the Bale, like the Nolan verse, Batman Begins, Return, and Dark Knight, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Those are great. They're really dark, gritty, and also still very realistic. This one is like a more up-to-date version even of that. But it picks up, if you see that, I really enjoy the Batman. Like, there's some people who don't, like my buddy Tim. He can't fucking stand that movie. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people make a joke because they use Nirvana's Under the Bridge a lot in that movie. It's like a running theme, but it actually turns out it's kind of diegetic. Like, Bruce is actually listening to that song because he just kind of feels shitty and down. Most of the time it's raining because Gotham is like similar to New York in a way, and it's just very, very rainy. And it's I really like the movie because it is more. It shows Batman actually trying to be a detective, which we never fucking see.
Well, because he is the
World's
quote
greatest
unquote,
detective. Yeah, and we actually get to see that on screen for once. You know, I think we haven't really seen him detect anything since like, what was it, Batman Forever, way back when he was up against the Riddler and Two-Face, where he was actually like, oh, these puzzles.
No, those are fun.
Yeah. So actually, ironically, he's against the Riddler in this movie.
See, I just wonder how many times they can reboot this universe and how many story arcs are going to end up following.
I mean, because
what I want to see,
there's so many stories that have never been done.
I want to see the Killing Joke done on live action.
Gonna be really difficult without a solid Joker built up.
Yeah.
So they've done,
And it can't be this happy-go-lucky Joker. It's got to be this dark, evil, sadistic son of a bitch.
well, it just depends because which Joker are we talking about? Because now we know there's 3.
Right?
Because the 3 Joker story is a thing.
I don't know. Mark Hamill was one of my favorite Jokers.
Yeah.
He had a good laugh.
Yeah. I mean, just because Mark Hamill basically set the standard for a modern Joker until Heath Ledger came along.
See, listening
I'm
to...
trying to leave Mark Hamill's personal ridiculous fucking nonsense out of it because I loved him as that character, but like he's such a fucking asshat
Yes, he
now.
is.
It's really
But
annoying.
watching him, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago, Hamill reading Heath Ledger's Joker speech, the whole "Why So Serious" speech.
I don't remember him doing that.
It was great.
I
And
know.
he even got the laugh into it. It was, yeah.
Now, if I recall, they had wait, is this the one where he sat down with Kevin Conroy and he did Batman and Mark
No, I
Hamill?
think it was just on a panel.
Okay, but I'm saying because there's one of them where I think Kevin Conroy, who voiced Batman,
Yeah.
the animated series, I think did the Christian Bale Batman lines.
Okay.
I think I could be wrong.
But anyway, him reading that speech was,
Yeah.
to me, just, you got chills.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he also got to redo a character he played on The Flash way back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, so
What, Cockknocker? Or
no,
that was Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, that's something much stupider. No, he was on the '90s Flash as the trickster,
Okay.
and on the new Flash in one of the multiverses, where the same guy, Wesley, fuck, can't remember his last name. He doesn't play Barry Allen, but he plays Jay Garrick. So the old Flash. So in that universe, he revises the role as the trickster, but significantly older.
All right.
On screen, which is kind of cool. So we get a nod. Oh, and it's John Wesley Sharp? I think that's his name. Yeah, I think it's John Wesley, whatever. Either way, it doesn't matter. Because the cool thing is, in Crisis on Infinite Earths, when they did that on the Flareoverse, the 90s Flash, played by the same guy, comes in to interact with our Flash and all the other Flashes who showed up in that multiversal thing. So they did Crisis on Infinite Earths in like a 6-part series, I think, which also saw the end of Arrow and everything else like that. Because they basically are like, we're kind of running out of material here for Arrow. We got to do something with this.
That's a series I need to finish.
I never finished it either.
Yeah.
I know how it ended. I know what happened to Oliver Queen.
I mean, I need to watch the Flash, everything.
Yeah. Well, from the clips I'm seeing, the Flash really goes downhill fast.
Yeah.
Because basically they lock on to fighting nothing but evil speedsters. Like, he only occasionally goes up against non-speedsters. Oh, Jesus.
I'm trying to remember where I left off. It was when he went back in time and was gonna stop his mother from being killed.
It was a Flashpoint one.
And he let it happen.
Yeah, so, no, he did change it. He saved his mom.
Oh.
In grief, created Flashpoint universe where everything was fucked up. Then to fix it, he had to go back with Thawne and let Thawne kill, and he had to stop himself, and let Thawne kill his mom. But he was there to watch it. He had to watch his mom get killed.
That was rough.
But he was there to say goodbye to her in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually, I think technically, Barry himself runs his younger self out to the street. So, like, because he said he never remembered how he got out to the street. So, in that universe. But the problem is, after he corrected Flashpoint, the new universe changed things. Because Diggle had a son in the initial universe. After Barry did it, Diggle now had a daughter. But Barry and the Legends, because at that point the Legends had come along, and since they're time travelers, they weren't affected by the changes in the timeline. They came back to see the universe altered. So they remembered the son initially.
See, my brain starts hurting when you start messing with timelines and all that.
See, Legends of Tomorrow, the first couple seasons I thought were fun, and then it just started turning into, well, we got to put these characters somewhere.
Because no matter what you do, something's going to go bad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then they tried to keep all of the bad guys who had been defeated before on the Flash or on Arrow. They brought them back into Legends of Tomorrow. But one of the coolest things that allowed them to do was bring back Matt Ryan as Constantine. He is single-handedly the best. I don't give a fuck about the Keanu movie. I do not care. This guy literally embodied the comic version of Constantine. Good. To the point that they made the newest, he voiced the animated one in that run, actually even up till now. If there's an animated Constantine since like 2013, I think, 2014, he voices the character and they base it off of his look, basically. So like, I like the Constantine series. It was very short because they put it on the wrong fucking network. But then it allowed
WB.
No, it was, even though it was tied together, they put that shit on NBC.
Okay,
they sold it to NBC, not even affiliated. They Fireflied it, so they showed the first episode before the pilot. So it made no sense when the pilot operated. And they're like, "Wait, why are we being introduced to the characters when we already? Wait, what happened to the other person we already met?" And then they just never got attention. Even though it was started up after Arrow and after Flash and Supergirl. And then Supergirl eventually, because Supergirl was on CBS. It didn't do that well over there, so they eventually brought that to the WB after doing the Supergirl Flash crossover, and then they did a big multiverse crossover with every universe that currently exists.
That's why I quit watching them. They're just hard to keep up with.
Well,
Straight.
Well, the funny thing is that's pretty damn well accurate to the comics. That's the kind of shit that happens.
Yeah.
Because in that universe with Flash and Arrow, there's no Superman, there's no Batman, there's mention of a Batman, but they never say it by name. They talk about Gotham at one point. But later, once a lot more stuff got rolled in together, we got Batwoman, which was a fucking travesty. Because they had to come up with an excuse why Bruce Wayne was gone and Batman was gone.
Right.
And they brought in Batwoman, who's not a terrible character, but they fucked it up so bad. And that they couldn't keep a fucking main actress. Like the main actress, I forgot her name. It wasn't Ruby Rose, but it sounds like that. Ruby something. So she quit due to whatever. They brought in somebody else who lasted, like, I don't even think a season. And they brought in this last girl who was so abysmal at it they canceled the series.
Yeah.
And then that also ruined part of the Flash because they brought in a Flash villain that I would have been massively excited to see. And from what I heard, everyone was super excited to see. And they ruined that character by adjusting it to this universe. So it was the Red Death, who's over here on my Batman shelf.
Yeah.
That's the fusion of Batman and Flash.
Oh, cool.
So that's where Bruce Wayne...
I kind of dig it. I thought that was just an angry Daredevil.
No.
Okay.
That's the Red Death. So I've mentioned it on the show before, but you've never heard this. So the Red Death is what happens when Bruce Wayne gets so distraught that he wants Barry to go back in time and save his parents. Mm-hmm. Barry refuses because this Barry's already gone through Flashpoint. He's like, look, you don't want to do that. It's going to fuck up the universe. And he's like, well, if you won't do it, then I will take your power and I will do it myself. So basically, it's Batman versus Flash. Eventually, he manages to catch Flash.
Now, which Batman?
The Batman.
Oh, and that means absolutely nothing to me.
Bruce Wayne?
No, who's playing Batman?
This is not a movie. This is in the comics.
Okay, the comics.
Yes. So this is all in the comics. So he captures Barry, creates a device to harness the Speed Force, straps him to the front of the Batmobile, and drives into the Speed Force. But instead of just using that as a time machine, it ends up fusing the Flash to Bruce. It's got Bruce's consciousness, but now he has the Flash's powers. In fact, when he runs, his lightning comes off of him and turns into bats.
I'm Flashman.
Kind of. But here's the fun part. Barry lives in the back of his head. Like not literally, his consciousness is inside Bruce's head, so he tries to tell him, no, don't do that, whatever. But that's in the negative multiverse. And the negative multiverse is universes that are supposed to be deleted because things go so wrong. So they're so bad that the universes just fall apart after the inciting incident. In that universe, it's after he's conquered everything. He doesn't go back in time to fix that, but that's after he gets recruited, or right before he gets recruited by the Batman Who Laughs. So that's
The Batman Who Laughs.
yes,
Okay.
that's Batman who basically becomes the Joker.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So the Joker kills Alfred, forcing Batman to finally kill him. When he does, a special toxin comes out of him, and Bruce breathes it.
Oh, okay.
So it basically Jokerizes Bruce.
So the same gas that the Joker wants to.
Yes, but it's specially formulated.
Okay.
Like you can't. There's no cure. There's nothing you can do
Damn.
for it. And eventually he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm good. He's telling like the whole Bat family, I'm good. We're good. No problem. Weeks later, he's got like Batman, Robin, Nightwing. I'm sorry. He's got Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, all of them all together training for like days against every possible training scenario they can come up with. He's like, look, some shit's coming. We all need to train. Makes them train for like 4 days straight. And then while they're exhausted, he kills all of them with machine guns.
Wow.
Because at this point, he's completely turned. So, like, and eventually, if you ever see Batman like Bruce's intellect, but unleashed, that's what the Batman Who Laughs
Without
is.
any filters. Nothing.
No filters. No filters at all, and pure evil.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, he's the one who basically destroys the multiverse eventually. Like, they did go way too hard with the Batman Who Laughs, because eventually he becomes the I think the Darkest Knight is what they end up calling him, because he makes himself into a god. He steals the powers of Dr. Manhattan
Okay.
to make himself into a multiversal being. And then he starts rewriting the universe however he wants to fucking do it.
It's too much.
This is what happens when Batman is literally let off his leash.
But still, it's too much.
Because think of it this way, he takes down all of the superheroes in existence, all the superpowered ones. He either takes them down or he converts them, because he creates a gas of his own and starts converting everyone to be Jokerized. He has an army of kids that are his Robins, but I think he calls them something different. But they're like far more violent.
His little birdies.
I forgot what he calls them, but he has them on chains. Like they're that violent that he has them on
Gosh.
chains. And
So,
like,
so basically a bunch of berserkers.
you know how the Joker has his hyenas, and he usually has them on chains and sex. Basically that. So he basically has a bunch of Robins. But there's the Robin King. So that's I forgot who it is, like who the actual person is, but it's a Robin. So he Jokerizes that one, but he becomes like the top evil fucking Robin.
Okay.
On top of the other ones. You know, it's kind of a Sith kind of thing. So you got your main Sith and you got your little Sith. But either way, the Dark Knight's Metal era is fun, because there's also within that was the year of the villain. So they basically were giving like the villains a lot of like main storyline, and they're doing stuff. Turns out underneath all of it, the Batman Who Laughs is kind of controlling shit underneath everything, even though they thought they had beat him. They thought they had reset the universe and fixed everything. Nope. Because he planned for that, because he's fucking Batman. Like, when you plan so far, they're going to reset the universe to try to get rid of me. I'm going to make sure that I don't get rid of, and then I'm going to conquer it because I know this, and this. It's like, I know this super powerful multiversal being exists. I'm going to go find him.
Grief.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, and then there's in the Batman Who Laughs comic series is him versus the mainline Batman. But the only way that Bruce knows to beat him is to become like him. So he has the Joker sacrifice himself to get gassed so that he can know what the other thing, and he's trying to resist it. And you see from his point of view, like how the world starts changing. And like he puts on the visor, the spiked visor that the Batman Who Laughs wears, and you actually get to see through that lens how he sees the world. And it looks, basically everything looks like blood.
Oh, good grief.
Blood and fire.
I want to apologize for everyone listening for this rant.
No, the nerds are good. But it's like, okay, so that whole spiel was to tell you that's what the comics did for these characters. What the Flash universe did was they took Batwoman, who died, and turned her into the Red Death.
Okay.
And it was horrible.
So they just took the shortcut.
They
did
took
the
a
easy
super
thing.
shortcut, and they said, nope, she died, and she became an evil version of the Flash, and it was horrible.
You got Timu Red Death.
Yes, literally, it's Team Red Death. The costume looked horrendous.
Yeah.
It was horrible. They made the chest light up. I was like, it's fucking stupid. And then the first time they encounter it, from what I've seen from reels, it's an empty suit. And they're like, what the fuck? And then it runs away. But then later, when they actually beat her, they find out that it was Batwoman all along from the negative multiverse. It's like, fuck. It's like, no, you don't get to just slide the
Drop
negative.
that on you.
You don't get to slide the negative multiverse in here. Fuck you. Either way, that's one reason why I don't want to finish the Flash, because I know it gets really stupid, because they basically took everything from the comics they could from the last 20 years, condensed it down into 7 seasons of a TV show, because the first couple were just whatever they wanted to do. But once they did Flashpoint, which is actually very quickly done, then they did a few of the other storylines between the Reverse Flash, Zoom, the Thinker. And then what did they do after that? Then they started building into Crisis. So they just basically no-name villains to build up to Crisis. Then they did the what was it? Earth Negative whatevers, where basically Nazis won. So all our superheroes are Nazis.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And at this point they have in that part of the universe, they actually have Supergirl on their Earth and Superman. Mm-hmm. Whereas on ours, they're in their own universe. So they actually separated the super people. Because they're like, you guys don't have a Superman? I was like, no.
No, you do now.
Yeah. No, what would have been interesting is if in the Flash universe that the Kryptonians, if they pulled like the Red Sun comics. You ever saw that? Mm-hmm. Where he landed in Russia?
I don't do comics. Never have.
Yeah, so he lands in Russia instead of in Metropolis. So he's raised by the Russians. He's got a hammer and sickle on his chest instead. So it's Superman Red Sun. Yeah, pretty neat little comic. But
you will submit,
basically. But that would have been interesting if they figured out that Kryptonians did exist in their universe. They just didn't crash in Metropolis. Actually, I don't even think Metropolis exists in the Flash universe. Mm-hmm. Gotham does. So either way, that was a big rant for all the superhero stuff there. Sorry, but occasionally we got to do nerd shit. But you said you wanted the Killing Joke. Now they did an animated Killing Joke movie.
Well, you just never see Batman, bite it in the end. That's just a.
Well, he didn't.
But still, you just never see the Joker win. I always thought that'd be an interesting arc to see on television or in a movie theater.
I think the Joker always wins.
Yeah.
Even when he loses, he wins. But his ultimate goal in the Killing Joke was to prove that Batman is like him.
And see, that's one of the issues I've always had with Batman. If he would have done the hard thing, the thing he didn't want to do, mm-hmm. the threat would have been over.
But that's how you get the evil Batman.
True, in a way, but
there's an evil Batman, and I'm forgetting what is his name. It's something Knight, obviously, but they make him like the Punisher. So he uses guns, he kills all his villains and everything else like that, because he gets brought in the Batman Who Laughs story. He's supposed to be the red herring. So he's kind of under the control mm-hmm. of the Batman Who Laughs and going around killing people, but he's doing it the way Bruce Wayne would do, in a way. But he also starts dropping dead Bruce Waynes from the multiverse.
Nice.
So he leaves behind Bruce Wayne bodies, because it kind of opens up with like, we found a dead Bruce Wayne. And so they look at him and he analyzes the body, and he's like, here's the scar whenever I fought this guy.
Rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated.
Well, yeah. It was, if I recall correctly, it was inside a crate, inside a trailer that was part of a stolen shipment of something. And when it crashed, they found the body inside the thing. Mm-hmm. They're like, how the fuck did this even get here? Actually, I think it might have been a house. Like they were moving a house on an 18-wheeler. I think is what it was. And it turned into a car chase because they're trying to figure what the fuck are they after? And then turns out to be like a big metal coffin, effectively, and Bruce Wayne's body's inside it. And so he's like, okay, how am I dead when I'm right here? And then he analyzes the body and sees that he's got all the same scars up till a point. Mm-hmm. So he's like, this is me up until here. So this other guy that I can't remember his name. Oh, the Grim Knight. That's what it was, the Grim Knight. And because they were all called the Dark Knights. All of the evil Batmen were called the Dark Knights. I think you would like, what was it called? Devastator Batman.
Okay.
He was Batman if he became Doomsday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Because he... Because
half the time being the good guy's no fun. The bad guys have all the fun.
Well, in this case, he and Superman is basically like Batman Returns, not the movie but the comics.
Yeah,
where he fights a kind of sort of fascist Superman. So basically, they can't agree on how
he fights Homelander.
Yeah, but it's just because in that case, Superman starts working for the U.S. government and enforcing the law via the government, and of course Batman being the rebel he is, he's not going along with it. It's almost like in Civil War where they did the Superhero Registration Act and like the superheroes now work for the government, the Avengers now work for the government, that kind of shit. Basically that's what they did there. But Batman, not wanting to go along with that, ends up fighting Superman. That's how we got the Batman v Superman movie, which mirrored that fight.
God, that was awful.
It was okay. The fight was good.
I don't know. Batman versus Superman was 2 hours of Batman bitching and getting his ass.
You need to watch the director's cut.
I mean, that's about all it was.
The director's cut fixes it.
It needed to be fixed. It was awful.
There is a director's cut that fixes that movie.
Friggin' Batfleck was bad.
No, I love Batfleck. I thought he was great. He wasn't given the right thing to do. Either way. No. So what was I saying? Oh, so basically Batman, Superman basically are in that same situation. Superman is sort of working for the government, that kind of stuff. Batman's clearly not seeing things the right way. Why can't you just kill your villains? All this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, it's almost like Injustice in a way, if you ever saw that, where Joker hits Superman with kryptonite Joker dust and tricks him into killing Lois and his unborn child. So he turns into Homelander. So in this one, basically the only way Batman sees to beat Superman is to create a doomsday virus. So he pops a pill that gasses him, mutates him into this huge hulking doomsday-like thing, and he emits the virus, like in a form of a gas. But when it hits a Kryptonian, it causes these giant bone spikes to come out of them and skewers them from the inside out.
Oh, good grief.
But it converts all humans around him into doomsdays. So that's how he ended his own universe. Because Superman found out about this because Lois got exposed to it, and so did his son. And since his son is half Kryptonian, it was having even weirder effects. So we kind of turn into there. But then, that's a big hulking, super violent Batman at that point. But the Dark Knights, there's infinite versions, but they did the original 7 of them, I think, was the ones that came from the comics. There was Murder Machine. That's basically he becomes cyborg because he wants to revive Alfred.
Oh, cool.
Instead, he becomes part of a matrix of synthetic metal Batman, basically, that can create machines and do all kinds of crazy shit. That's why he's called Murder Machine. Then, of course, Red Death we talked about. Then there's the... so if you look over there... So that's actual Batman up there in nth metal armor. Batman Who Laughs. Then this is the Drowned.
The Drowned.
The Drowned.
So Aquaman and Batman combined?
Yes, but if you notice, she's got boobs.
Aqua Woman?
Technically, but actually what happens there is that's a gender swapped universe.
Ah.
So that's Bryce Wayne, and she was with Sylvester Kyle. And because of the war between Mira not Mira, but Aqua Woman, and somehow killed Sylvester Kyle, so Catman. We never saw him as Catman, but it would beg the reason he is Catman. It starts a war between Batman and Atlantis. Batman, being Batman, or Batwoman in this case, says, well, if I'm going to fight them on their turf, I'm gonna need to make me like them.
Okay, what's on the bottom?
That's Wonder Woman down there. So that Wonder Woman and that Batman.
Okay, I'm talking green.
Oh, that I'm getting there.
Okay.
So with the Drowned, basically mutates herself to be half Atlantean, so she can breathe underwater, but adds the ability that anyone she kills resurrects as her own zombie fish person.
Nice.
Yes, and using the same power of like Aquaman to control fish and whatnot, can still do that. So she's called the Drowned because after she kills Aquawoman and destroys Atlantis, she floods the world. Because fuck everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when all of these Dark Knights come to the main universe, things get a little wonky, if you can imagine. The one you're asking about over there is Dawnbreaker. That's Green Lantern Batman.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yes, except in the comic books, Green Lantern has offered Bruce the ring every now and then just to do whatever. It has rarely gone well. Usually has it for like a couple seconds and then gets rid of it because he can't deal with it. Mm-hmm. What happens is, in that universe, when Bruce Wayne's parents are killed, coincidentally, a ring happened to be flying by Earth, senses Bruce's strong will in that moment, and comes to him, not obviously realizing what happened. Mm-hmm. So what he does is the ring goes on his finger, kind of makes him a Green Lantern in that moment, and he says, okay, if you're going to give me this power, I'm resurrecting my parents who literally have just died.
Yeah.
And it says because the rings talk. So he says, you cannot do that as beyond the limits of the power. And he basically says, you just said the power is unlimited. And it's like, uh-oh. So basically he proves that his willpower is stronger than a Green Lantern ring, forces it past its limits, and basically eventually conquers Earth, all this kind of stuff like that. Kills the Green Lantern Corps.
Does it merge with him?
Well, he becomes a Green Lantern.
Okay.
But he pushes it past its normal limits and corrupts it.
Ah.
Yeah. So he actually makes like dark green, like almost blackish green constructs and stuff like that. Now, this version is actually incorrect. This version shows him like adult and kind of buff. That one, because he was a teenager when it hit him, or at least a preteen when it hit him, he doesn't bother to get all buff and swole because he has superpowers now.
Well, he could have done the Shazam thing,
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is he just uses the powers. He gets older, but he never gets buff. He stays
He never
scrawny.
has to train that hard.
Exactly. He never bothers to train because he kills all the Green Lanterns who come after him, and he just conquers the world. Mm-hmm. So that's a fun one, too. I like the Dawnbreaker.
Oh, this is a nerdcast today.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked about it here before, but you've never been exposed
You
to
are
this.
in your element.
If you ever want to borrow the book, it's out there.
Yeah, I might.
I have the hardcover. I have all the Lucy's in the hardcovers.
I might.
But what annoys me is they never made the last two statues.
Oh, really?
They never made so they never made Devastator or.
So have you been bugging them?
I can't. Diamond Select kind of doesn't exist in the same way it used to, and they no longer have the connection to DC, so they're not going to make it. Some other people did, but it does not match the set. So that's the sad part.
You need to learn a 3D print. I bet you could come up with some good stuff.
I know how to do all that. I don't want to. I'm lazy. I don't want to design something that will sort of go with my thing. I wanted the thing to be created to go with the stuff.
Aha.
See what I mean? It's like, so they never made Devastator, which is the Doomsday one, and they never made Murder Machine. So that sucks. That collection will never be complete. Plus, I'd have to add 2 shelves. I got the Wonder Woman like extremely on sale. That's why I was happy. I had to fight to get that Batman though. He was an exclusive. So that's them fighting back after the universe has been conquered. So the whole goal was to collapse all the universes down to one, and then cause the main Earth to fall into the void.
See, I am so glad I never got into collecting because I would be obsessed with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So now, instead of when I collect a new hobby, I just get new tools.
I mean, you collect a lot of other things, but nothing like this.
Yeah.
Like you were asking about the Demon Slayer statues. It's like, we could talk. But at least that's a really limited lore.
Stupid pig weasel.
He's not a pig.
That's what he looks like.
He's not a weasel. He's just a dude. He's a crazy guy, is what it is. Okay, so, we never even got around to playing Sean's message.
No, we never did.
We got way off on a tangent. Okay, sorry, Sean. We're going to play your James Earl Jones message. Holy fuck, we got way off on the topic there.
Freaking 40
That
minutes.
was like 30 minutes of not on topic.
Which is half of our episode.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sitting there trying to open this thing up, and it was in front of me the whole time. All right, so we're going to try that again with Sean's message.
Question for the pod. Hey, what's a personal achievement you two have accomplished that you're proud of? And it doesn't have to be super endearing or none of that shit like that, or staying alive to 40, which is probably one of my personal ones.
Which,
But,
by the way, was
like,
Sean's birthday this
recently
weekend.
and Continually, Jeff has lost a lot of weight. And good job, Jeffy. Super proud of you. Keep it up. Things like that. An obstacle you set out to overcome, and you did. Jeff wanted to lose some weight, lost some weight.
Still losing weight.
Shoki wanted to build a super badass neon race car thing, and it did. 6 or 7 times. Whatever. Just anything like
Kind
that.
of.
Just a personal accomplishment you took on, and you achieved it. Tell me something, one of those that you're, yeah, that could be many. I don't give a shit how many ones. Also, how awesome is Sean? Because he's pretty fucking cool, don't you think? Huh, Jeff? Pretty cool?
Douche canoe.
I don't know. So, belated happy birthday to Sean. His birthday was Friday.
It was Friday.
It was Friday. And he celebrated by being old and taking taking off half a day of work, which is big for him.
What, for day drinking?
No, he's actually going to go eat barbecue that he can never get to. And
Nice.
To actually get, you know how barbecue places are.
Yeah, they sell out right before you get there.
Exactly. So he took off at lunch. I don't know if he ever made it to the barbecue place, but that was the plan. And then he went to go see the new Transformers movie on Saturday, which is a big deal because it's a fucking hour trip to go see a movie. Yeah, he lives in the middle of fucking nowhere.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay, so personal accomplishments.
Go ahead, buddy. Start us off.
Oh, sure. Have me do it. I haven't accomplished anything in my fucking life, so I'm not sure. I mean, realistically, even though technically the entire project was never finished, stripping and rebuilding a Neon from the literal ground up, from bare shell to drivable car, managed to do that, which, mind you, it's rotting in the garage, but it was a thing. And I mean, other than a few electrical gremlins and getting the windshield installed, if not for those things, I would have had that car driving and running all these years. But yeah, so I mean, it was an accomplishment just to literally take it completely apart and put it all back together again, which is, can't say I've ever done that with virtually anything else. So that was technically an accomplishment. And then got sidetracked.
Right.
Life, lack of money, COVID, excuses.
Excuses, yeah.
Those are always fun. Excuses.
Well, I don't know. What I'm most proud of here lately is conquering my own demons, man. I've struggled with PTSD, overeating, weight gain, just being extremely unhealthy, substance abuse issues. And I went from loathing myself, hating the man I saw in the mirror every single day, to within, almost 400 pounds, just fat. And over the past, I'm going to give it 6 or 7 years, I got a second chance. We've talked about it before. I got pulled over drunk as hell and got a get out of jail free card. And I was determined not to waste that, not to let that go, unrecognized.
Yeah.
And so I've been working on myself quite a bit. I finally like who I am. It's only in the past couple of years I like me.
I think really in the last 4 weeks, you've gotten even better.
Well, thank you for noticing. It's just been a constant, war of attrition against who I used to be.
Yeah.
And it's paying off. I was, 378 pounds at my heaviest. I weighed a couple of days ago. I'm down to 290.
Yeah.
So I've got another 40 pounds to go till I hit my second goal at 250. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. And
I mean, none of my clothes fit anymore. I'm having to go in a couple weeks to go get all new work gear.
yeah, it's after weighing myself the other night after getting home from bowling, which I'll talk about this weekend.
What, you in the 30s?
Huh?
You up to the 30s or still in the 20s?
No, I just went up to where I was.
Okay.
So any weight loss I had over the last month or two.
So what's that, 24?
16.
Okay.
Yeah, asshole. Fucking making me heavier than I ever. I was never that heavy. No, I've gone back up to where I was. But I will also say, not to be gross about it, I do get backed up quite a lot. I do have bowel problems now, which were apparently predicted from the moment I was born. So the prophecy has come true. I get backed up, and it usually takes me several days to get right again.
Mm-hmm.
And this weekend, I was getting right quite a lot, even up until right before you got here. So in theory, I've probably lost a pound or two. But you know what? Just on that note, on the personal growth, I still struggle with some of my issues, especially like I have self-loathing, but not necessarily in the way you did. It's mostly like I figure the reason people don't stay around is because I suck. So whoever I am must be terrible. So I hate that because everybody fucking leaves. I have abandonment issues.
Mm-hmm.
So when I lose,
Okay, bye.
when I lose when I lose my friend group, my relationship, and then I start things over with Jessica, start building up new friendships, new everything else, get into the Gundam clubs and all that kind of stuff. And then that all falls to shit. And then COVID happens. And then everything around COVID happens. So I lose all those friends. I've talked about it here repeatedly. I know some of those things, like I started feeling better about myself because I built something around me through YouTube and the communities I was a part of. And I became part of the core of a community, which changed my view of me. But then to have all these people that I cared about deeply fucking just throw me to the side or treat me like garbage, put me right back into that downward spiral.
Yeah.
So in the last however long, we've been hanging out and then, doing either the trivia nights or getting connected with other new friends through church in the last year. Cause
coming up to the New Waverly and
out. That's why I was counting that in there. But like rebuilding a sense of community with people, whether that's through the church, starting with the men's group. And I spoke with Andre earlier because, tonight's men's group again. And I said, hey, ironically, due to the personal growth of the guys who used to come to the group, our group has now shrunk.
Yeah.
Because they grew to the point that they moved on with life. Now, mind you, it's not a support group. It's a Bible study group. But it is for men to get together and talk men things and do Bible study.
Yeah.
So a lot of those guys who were there when I started aren't around anymore because their life grew to the point that they ran off to do their own thing, basically. Good for them, no bad. So I said to Andre, I'm like, hey, bud, we got to regroup. We got to start regrowing this group as like, we've stayed very central to the people who are here, and that's not growth. So we need to put it out there.
Yeah.
It's a year later. There's bound to be new dudes who need this same thing. And now you've got a good core where before you're starting from scratch. So he's like, that's a good idea. I'll do it here in a bit. When he gets a chance. Mind you, he's being Mr. Mom, so he's got to take the time when he has it.
Well, on that point, I've talked to my surrogate sister quite a bit about what I call emotional economics. So she has a bad habit of investing emotional currency into people who don't give her any ROI.
Damn skip.
No return on investment.
Yes.
So
I knew what that was. Well, for the people in the audience.
But you've gotten to a place where you can invest in others emotionally and get a return on that. Right now.
Usually.
So that's kind of where you need to be right now. Put in the work. Invest the time, the emotional content needed to make those investments grow more.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I know
that's overcomplicating it, but
no, it's not. It's just that I've always been the one to invest. It's other people don't return the investment.
Baby, I'm here.
Yeah, you are. But look how long it took you to get here.
Hey.
And also you needed to get good with yourself to even get to here.
True.
But it's just like, if you hadn't had the personal growth that you've remotely had, and also nobody to hang out with in the moment, you wouldn't be here either. So it's like it's usually much like what happened in the men's group. It was a lot of people who had nowhere to be. They had no friends, or starting all life over, or had just been through fresh divorces or whatever, and they needed something stable in their life. So that's how the men's group kind of built. And now that we have, like I said, some people who have a stable core, we need to regrow that with new people who probably still need the same thing.
Right.
And it's kind of the same thing with this show, when basically I had to lose all my co-hosts. Once again, abandonment issues start coming around on something that I'm trying to grow. And it's hard to keep pushing forward. I have the...
Was it getting to the point where you had to drag them into doing everything? You were basically towing them along to get them.
Well, it became and this is me not blaming the previous co-host for their lives getting so busy they couldn't be here. Well,
and that may happen if what I have planned for the future happens, and I'm nonstop go every single day. We may have to.
I'm not getting another co-host, Jeff. It's you or no one. Or I'm gonna get Sean to move here. It'll make my life really easy.
Good luck,
dude. I'm pushing him.
Good luck.
There's look, while they have. While family and everything is there, there's nothing else there. There's no potential for growth where he is. And that's the unfortunate reality of small town life.
Yeah.
If you're not in the oil field or something else, there ain't shit to do there. At least while it's more expensive to be here, obviously, we know how expensive it is to live here. There's more opportunity for everything,
and comparatively, it's cheap to live here. Compared to a lot of places.
To some places, yes. But I'm saying, like, where he lives, they have an established life, but it's a giant rut. And, we talked about ruts not that long ago. And
yeah, the rut will be on November? Second or third week? Deer season.
I'm not talking about deer season. I'm talking about a life rut. But it's just, this is not a discussion I wanted to have today, but it's something that's been on my mind for a while.
Oh, let's hear it, brother.
Okay, so it's something I actually brought up in men's group because we were talking about faith and everything else like that. And, we go over these stories in the Bible of people who have great faith and then step out to do something that is terrifying, whether it's one of the disciples, basically like leaving their entire life to hop out and go with Jesus, right? So I brought up a question at men's group, and it's kind of a challenge. I mean, the question was very challenging. I didn't challenge them because I said, does faith require risk?
Of course it does.
Yeah. It's like, in my opinion, I think you know exactly what I mean just by the question. But for the leaders to go, they're thinking about it, because as someone who's weak in faith, it requires a lot of risk to just take whatever step is next. But until you are stronger in your faith and you know where you're going, it's all risk. Even though, in my mind, the risk is there until the promise is fulfilled. Because without risk, faith, I don't want to say it's pointless, because obviously it isn't, but if you don't have the risk is not knowing for sure. That's what faith is. Faith is stepping without knowing. You can have the belief of the promise that's going to be fulfilled, right?
Because you can get wrapped up inside your head pondering, is it real? Is what's going to happen after I die?
Yeah.
It really is. It can be overwhelming.
Yeah. And for someone who's jumped in and out of church life for decades, it's like I don't really question God's existence. I question where I'm going to end up, or if anything I do is going to ever matter. Mm-hmm. And I know works versus, all the things. But in my mind, it's like, for faith to exist, you can't truly know the end, or else it's not faith. Mm-hmm. It's just solidified. And I hate to say it, it's the Baptist way of thinking. Once saved, always saved. I'm good here. I can just go live life. I'm good. I don't have to do much else. I can still go to church and all that stuff. And I know I'm oversimplifying that Southern Baptist kind of ideal.
That's how I was raised.
Yeah, once saved, always saved, versus walking with God, having a relationship with God, and all this other stuff.
The part I have a problem with, especially like Catholic religion,
Yes.
I don't see how you can basically get your loved ones out of purgatory by giving the church money.
That's always a problem. But,
Yeah.
But I think this is the way I looked at it with tithing. Like, I give when I can, but I also, and this is something I personally do, instead of just blanket giving money. I mean, we did donate the other day after we got that settlement check because we hadn't been able to tithe. We basically
Oh, that finally happened.
Yeah,
Good grief.
it did happen, but I didn't talk about it here. I talked about it on the Patreon. By the way, I forgot to push the Patreon again, motherfucker.
Hey, Patreon.
Once again, forgot to say the Patreon line at the beginning. It'll pop on the screen either way. No, stop it. What was I even saying? Oh, tithing. I will purchase things for the church. So, like, when I built the box for the microphone case, I purchased everything I needed for that. I put in the actual work to make it happen so that they didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
To me, that's a service and tithing because it's nothing I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
I did give of myself, of my time and everything, because tithing is not just about money, because back in the day, before money was truly a thing, you would be giving of your crops, your whatever,
Or your time.
or your time if you had it. If you had nothing else, you'd service somehow, right? The 10%, that's part of the definition of it. We're actually in a sermon series about tithing and taking care of things like that either way. But anyway, now going back to the risk idea, if you know for sure, then there's no risk. Without risk, to me, there's no faith. There's just, you're solid. Because if you know it's going to happen for sure, you don't have to have faith in that. Mm-hmm. It's solidified. But because we will never know until we get there, and having the faith is the gate at the end, basically. Being faithful, being good, all that other things is your gate once you finally get there to getting where you're supposed to go. That has to be held all the way till the end. But the risk is not knowing if the path that you're on is the right one at any given point.
Well, there's a lot of security in the
opinion.
Baptist way of thinking. Once saved, always saved.
True.
Which
Security is a word that I would, that's a good word.
during my deployment, it allowed me to really come to terms with my own mortality and be comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure, I'm going to die. Everybody does. So if it happens an hour later, I know.
You're good.
Yeah.
So, and that's where I say, like, I mean, maybe the Baptists are right, and we're all trying too hard.
That made sitting in mortar bunkers with mortars dropping inside the wire way easier to cope with.
In that case, yeah, I could see that, but also could justify any bad things you had to do while you were there.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I know I have to technically do an evil thing for good, but under other rules.
I didn't see it as evil things.
Well, the idea of just killing or destroying.
I was never in an offensive position. It was all reactionary.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's still not a good thing no matter what. It's like, no matter, even if you are defending yourself.
Even if it was fun?
Especially if it was fun. Either way.
Because I was a weirdo that'd start grinning.
Of course. Well, you're always fucked up.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. But no, it's just, that was just an idea that came to me while we were sitting there talking about it. And I'm just like, and I think that's where so many people struggle in the faith, is that they're scared to risk whatever it is they might lose, whatever that might be, whatever it is that they have to give up in their life that they're holding on to that would allow them to be good.
A lot of it's them giving up control.
Yeah.
That's hard as hell.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying.
It's
like
so hard to give up just everything and leave it in someone else's hands.
Correct. And that's the risk, that if I let go, it will be held. Mm-hmm. So to take that risk would be to have faith in something else is going to take care of it. And that's the part where I struggle.
I don't know, my dad, he's always have faith, but do the work and do what you have to do to be ready for whatever may come.
Well, you're supposed to do both.
Yeah.
And like, it's not by works alone.
No, and by works, we mean stockpiling food and water and all that.
You mean that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking
That's
about
the work.
the other things. Oh, I forgot I can close this.
I pray I'm wrong on that.
Yeah.
I hope all that work and preparation goes for nothing.
Yeah.
Because I don't want this country to be in that position.
Well, you can't take it with you, by the way.
Exactly.
You know.
But I hope it's not needed, because if it is, that means our country's in a very, very, very bad way.
Yeah.
And I don't want that.
No. I mean, we're already in a bad way.
We are, but it'll be a dystopian at that point.
At least we don't live in California.
Which
We have that.
which it is dystopian.
we have that. We don't live in California. Okay, so let's turn that around then. Well, actually, I'll lead with the men's group idea though, because what I did this weekend, I went bowling.
You went
with
bowling.
the men's group, and I have paid for it ever since.
I bet.
I am so fucking tired and like, dude, like I felt okay Saturday night. Like I was okay. Like I was a little bit sore. My groin was a little sore.
Yeah.
My knee was hurting a bit, but I was fine. Took some ibuprofen when we came home. I was okay for like the rest of the night. Sunday, a little tired, not that big a deal. 5:00 yesterday, we get home from, we went to church. Took my parents out for their anniversary / my dad's birthday. So my dad turned 91 and it was their 53rd anniversary. Went and did all that. Came home after doing some shopping. I don't know if you saw some of the like fall / Halloween decorations.
Yeah, I saw some of that.
So we picked up a bunch of that shit. Came home. I sat down on the couch, watching some YouTubes. Started falling asleep. Jessica wanted to start cleaning and start putting up decorations and stuff, which I pushed her to do. So I'm glad she wanted to do it. But she came over to wake me up to clean off my stuff off the bar. And I guess she woke me up in the time, when your body's in shutdown mode when you're falling asleep, you generally don't want to interrupt that.
That's right before REM. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so you jerked really hard?
I didn't necessarily jerk, but all my muscles were trying to relax, and she woke me up. So so literally it was like my whole body was aching. And like all the soreness, everything came at the exact same time. Everything fucking hurt across my body all at the same time. Mm-hmm. I was in fucking agony. And I was like, oh my God, all I did was bowl for 2 hours. I was like so fucking, and we had no more ibuprofen, nothing.
Damn.
And so like, I drank a bunch of water. I tried to just sort of not move much. I went and took a hot shower and then ended it with cold to try to cool things off and bring down the swelling. My knee was really killing me, my left knee, because there was a couple times I slipped.
Yeah.
My left foot slipped, and so it was like stutter, and so it was like, the knee tried to correct itself and jerked.
So no one got asked to leave? Because last time I went bowling, I was asked to leave.
We didn't get asked to leave, but we were annoying the people next to us.
Yep.
Because that bowling alley, we went to Time to Spare.
Yeah.
Out there in Cut and Shoot, which I'd never been there. It's a cool place.
Yeah, I got asked to leave at 300 bowl.
Wow, that's impressive. You got kicked out of 300.
You know those little pink and yellow balls that are super light?
Jackass.
I bet my buddy I could beat him with one of those.
Dumbass.
And I was like a bullet down the line.
Yeah, you're hurtling him down the lane. So, little known.
Hey, at least I wasn't going overhand,
Yeah. So, little known fact, I did bowl for many years with my friends when I started at my job, because my best friend was dating a girl who worked the bowling alley. She was working at McDonald's previously. She got a job at the bowling alley, so we went to go pick her up from work in the evenings.
So what'd you bowl the other night?
I'll just tell the story.
Go ahead.
Stop trying to jump to the end. It's a story.
I was curious.
It's a story, Jeff. You gotta wait till it. So either way, I bowled for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, way back when in my 20s, and I carried a decent average back then for somebody who's using either hand-me-down equipment or alley balls.
Yeah.
I never had anything of my own. So my best friend, the one I was saying, he got into it. So he bought a used ball from one of the guys who worked there. It was one of the counterweighted balls. And then when he eventually bought his next ball that he got really drilled for him and all that, I got that ball. So I had his hand-me-down ball, and I was using alley shoes. And I carried a pretty good average. I think I had an average of about 168, 169. For somebody who just casually bowling, 3 nights a week, give or take, 2 to 3. We'd go on Mondays, we'd go on Thursdays, we'd go on Saturdays. And it was cheap as fuck to bowl back then. Plus
it's not anymore.
No. But we also got half off because she worked there. Yay. So did that for many years. Even bowled on league with some of my coworkers back in the day. I was the handicap because I had been out of it for a little while, and then I joined their team to get back into
We're
it.
going bowling.
Yeah, so I was their handicap, which was good. Actually, I had some pretty good nights. I think the highest I ever bowled was either a 245 or a 254. I forget which. So that was a hell of a game. But my best friend, actually beat me that game. I think he got like a 260 something. So that was like the highest he ever got.
Yeah.
And he was really serious about it, but he still had his limitations and stuff like that. And he kept wanting to buy like the newest, shiniest thing instead of working on technique.
Yeah, it's not the equipment, buddy.
The equipment does help, though. If you have a ball that automatically curves, it makes your life a lot easier.
I bet.
But the other night, since it was the first time I properly bowled, we bowled at Jamie's birthday last year or early this year at Main Event. That was fucking horrible. Those lanes were dry as shit. The balls were beat up. And because the younger kids were with us, we had to have the bumpers up for half of it.
Ding,
So
ding, 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 ding.
it's like, and the lanes are actually narrower at Main Event.
Really?
Yeah, you can tell when you get up there. It's like, these fucking feel squished. So that was horrible. Absolutely horrible night of bowling. I think I got like a 45. And so, I mean, that was like 1 or 2 games. I forget how many we got in. We paid so much money for that because they screwed us on that deal. Instead of letting us just get the lane and then each person pays for their shit, every one of us paid for the lane.
Oh, good gosh.
Technically speaking. And we all got a package deal, but we didn't get any extra time. We got one amount of time.
Really?
Yeah, they screwed us on that deal. We basically paid $75 or $80.
Oh, I would have been a single lane per person that paid.
Yeah, but problem is, Main Event is so packed, it's a 2-hour wait.
Yeah.
Like every lane backed up until you get your 1 hour in. Either way. First game, and mind you, this is the church group, guys. We got 10 of us at first, 5 and 5.
The Holy Rollers.
Now, we didn't do league style. We just stayed on our sides. It was Jim and Andre were team captains, basically, because Jim does Wednesday nights, Andre does Monday nights. So we've been talking about this for a while. It's like we got to do Mondays versus Wednesdays. Except now we're down to 3 guys on Mondays, and Wednesdays has way more guys. This isn't fair. So because there's 2 people with my name, when Andre put the names in, he didn't say who was on what side, but there was one of us on each lane. We're like, I'm going to go with the right lane because that sounds good. It just happened to be the team that Andre was. Either way, first game was terrible. I think I rolled like a 70 something. I think it was bad. I was like second to last on our team, and I got beat by somebody who had never bowled. Oh, Jordan. I got beat by Jordan, who had never really bowled ever before. And he was just going up there and power bowling, like just chucking a 13-pound ball down the lane as hard as possible.
Hey, it works sometimes.
It did work sometimes. He actually did a decent first game. But we had to we were instructing him. We were like, hey, just move over. You just move over a little bit. Okay, now make sure you do the thing. No, don't do that. Just basically.
Hey, he was going, rah!
Yeah, basically, just hurl the ball. So the whole night, I'm using either an 11 or a 12-pounder. They're both, and they're alley balls, so none of them drilled well. I don't even use the thumb hole because I don't. I curve.
My hands are too big. Half the time it comes out, you go.
Exactly. So actually, that's too tight if that's the case. But no, and the lanes were super oily. Like the balls were just completely coated in oil. That should be.
So it'd spin and not curve.
It basically would spin a lot and not curve, or it finally hooked somewhere where it found a dry spot.
Right.
And second game, completely turned it around. Like got a strike in the second frame. I finally started getting some spares, and then like get to the final frame, and I get 2 fucking strikes. I'm sorry, I get a strike, then I get a 9, then I get the spare.
Yep.
I was like, finally, right near the end, we had 15 minutes to go out of our 2-hour set. By the time we rolled up the second game, that's how long it was taking us to fucking bowl. 5 of us, 2 hours, and only got 2 games. Per lane. And then at that point, everybody's like, we're not going to finish this. We'll just roll. So everybody starts packing up. And I was like, I'm getting my money's worth.
Right.
So like me and one of the other kids, James's youngest son, gets up there. We're just throwing balls. Or like, go as fast as you can. Just sit there and try to get in some accuracy.
Right.
Because he had never bowled before. Didn't really have the physics of it or the motions down or anything.
I may have to go to an alley one night. I'm dog free.
Yeah.
And just by myself, just bowl.
Yeah, it's probably pretty cheap if you're paying per game. rather than by the hour.
Yeah.
And just shoe rental. They have a decent deal. They did was it $60 for 6 people with shoes, with popcorn, with a picture of drinks is like $60.
Okay.
So basically $10 a person for all that shit. That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, you can easily way outprice that if you try to individualize it. Either way, second game I ended up rolling a 130 something by the end. So doubled my previous score. I was like, yes, I'm finally remembering how to bowl. So basically everybody leaves except for me and one other dude, and then Andre is still talking to somebody. So I pick up the ball that the young kid was rolling. It was a 10-pounder. The whole night, I just wanted a 10-pounder, but none of them were available. So I pick his up. The finger holes are way too small. But I said, screw it. Let's see what I can do. 6 strikes in a row.
Damn. Look at you.
All I needed was the right ball. I was like, I was doing it right the whole night.
And you were using, what, a 10-pounder?
Yeah.
That's light.
That's what I used to throw.
Okay.
I used to throw a 10er.
Then why do I always grab like a 16?
Because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Or you're power bowling. It's like, no, because I was even curving the right amount. I was struggling against the 12 because the holes were too big.
We're going one night.
Yeah, we can go one night.
Yep.
Well, we'll get everybody together and we'll go. So we can get our money's worth.
There you go.
Yeah. So the 12-pounder had huge holes. So I was struggling against that with grip. But I could get it to curve a little bit more, or I could hit harder. The 11 I could control better, but it sometimes was too light to hit with enough force.
Yeah.
And I was chucking the thing halfway down the lane, which is why my arm hurts when I just did that motion. But when
Like
I got
me with the light balls?
yeah. But with the 10-pounder, even with the wrong size finger holes, it was just like boom, boom, boom. I mean, I missed a couple.
Yeah.
But like it was just like 6 strikes in 5 minutes.
Let's see. You actually stick your thumb in the thumb hole?
No.
Okay, me either.
I mean, I did on my old ball because of the way it was drilled, I could.
Yeah.
But on alley balls, no. I use fingers to torque it.
Little lip,
Yep.
and gone.
Yep. I just a shocker. It's just a shocker, and then we do a thing. So I was really pissed that. Oh, and the funny part is, like, because it was still everybody's name, I was just bowling on everyone's thing.
Oh, nice.
I bowled, and I got 2 extra strikes on my own name without even looking because I'm not paying attention to who's
You're just
turning.
going.
I'm just going, and then I look up. I'm like, oh, cool. I gave myself 2 extra strikes. Nice, and I just kept going, and then time ran out. Because like I said, it was the last 5 minutes, and I was just going balls to the wall, and I was like, okay, so if I had just had a proper size 10-pound the whole night, I'd have been probably right up there with Andre.
Right.
Because Andre and Jim were killing it. And then Ryan, because we went out, because Jessica and I went out with Ryan and his wife in the evening for dinner. We were trying to go to this new Mexican place. I think it's like La Camila or something like that down here, just South Loop. And the new stuff below, just south of the South Loop by Camp Strake.
Okay, yeah.
So
I've been there. It's awesome.
So we were trying to get in there, but it was a 50-minute wait.
They were so good.
Yeah. So it was a 50-minute wait, and we're like, okay, hold on. We're almost there.
The brisket quesadilla.
Yeah.
It's really good.
So we were almost there, but we said, okay, hold on. We're driving right past Wasabi Bistro.
It was La Camillas.
Yeah, La Camilas.
Yeah.
That's almost what I said. It's almost what I said.
La Chameleons. No.
Yeah. So we pull into Wasabi Bistro. We see that it's really not very busy. We said, hey, here's the address. Just come over here. We'll grab a seat. So this is where I should have listened to Jessica. My microphone just dropped.
Yeah.
Leaned on it too hard. So the main part of the parking lot in front of Wasabi Bistro, our favorite little sushi place.
Ooh, yeah.
It's packed because Crust Pizza just opened up next door, so it's pretty busy.
Is that there just in front of the new Kroger?
Yes.
Okay.
And right over there by the Chick-fil-A Whataburger. So I park like halfway down the front row because I didn't feel like chasing around to try to find a spot out in the yard. Turns out if I had listened to Jessica, we'd have significantly less dents in the car. So we have a really good time hanging out with Ryan and his wife. Shout out to them. Because we've been trying to fucking plan something. They're new to the area. Like, they only moved here like a few months ago from California and got involved with the church just to make new friends. And to the point, like, their house is used for, like, church events and stuff like that. They're now have, like, their own night where, you know, things are being held at their place and stuff like that. And so we've just been trying to get together with them to do stuff. Like, because he's a car dude. He likes car stuff. He likes nerdy stuff. She likes clothes and food and working out and stuff. So it's like, okay, so you two pair off. We're going to pair off. We're going to talk and do shit. We actually, like, we finished our food, I don't know, at like 8:10, and we sat there till 8:50 talking. Like, we're those assholes who took up the fucking booth for 40 minutes after we were done eating.
Oh, yeah.
And then we realized, oh, they're getting ready to close. So we're like, okay, let's go ahead and go outside. We go outside, and we're trying to say bye, but we just keep talking.
It's the Texas goodbye that takes an hour and a half.
Yeah. And, well, because we're in the middle of a conversation when we walked out, so we got to keep talking. And we said, okay, we're good. Bye. Handshake, hug.
And y'all said bye like 3 more times.
And then kept talking. And so they finally get in their car. We said, screw it. Y'all go home. We got to go too.
That's like trying to get out of Chad and Heidi's place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we turn around, walk to our car, which is about 30 feet away, and Jessica goes, somebody hit our car.
Oh, motherfucker.
And I'm like, what? Because I'm walking over to my side. I don't even notice. And sure enough, I mean, like, you saw the picture.
Yeah.
It's like, mother.
Looks like their bumper scraped when they were backing out or something.
No, they pulled in.
Oh, shit.
So here's the story. Well, long story short, we called the cops. They came out, but there was a note left on the door.
So they basically gave you a blue form and fucked off, right?
No, they took all the info that we had, but here's the thing. There was a witness, which is what made all the difference in the fucking world. So a guy witnessed it, took a picture of the car that hit us, and he left a note.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he actually had come into Wasabi looking for whoever's car it was, because he said, I don't know if you saw me or not. I'd come inside a couple times and was asking around because he thought maybe it was an employee's car or something like that. But of course, he didn't come in to ask anybody else. So he went through every restaurant there trying to figure out who it was, and eventually just left a note with his info, said, here's my number, call me. This is the license plate of the car that hit you. I took a picture of it. And so we called him. We thought he hit us at first because the note was not very clear. He wrote on very, very small sticky notes. He put a bunch of them.
Have what
It's
you
what they had. It's what they had. And so he sent us the picture. We got the info. We gave that to the cops. And he said, oh, thank God you gave me the description of the vehicle and license plate. Pulled up immediately. The person had insurance. So we got the info from that because he filled out the little form. And the only thing it didn't have was a phone number. So we had like, fuck. Okay, now I got to figure out who this person was. Or get a hold of them. We come home. And because I'm still enraged about it, I said, fuck it. I'm going to put a post up in I Love Conroe and see if anybody responds. It's like, hey, you hit our car. We just want to exchange information. Hit me back if you see this. So I didn't get any hits. But what I did do was Google the person's name that the cop gave us. Because we had a name. It looked really weird. But we had a name. Googled it. And
define weird.
It's a very Hispanic name, but it's a name I've literally never seen before.
Like Central South American?
I don't know.
Okay.
The first name I have never seen before. Ever. And I see a lot of people's names in my line of work.
You'll tell me offline.
I will tell you offline. And so I Google it, and there's this website that comes up, you know, blah, 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 almost like a phone book type situation. This person has lived here, there, everywhere. Here's phone numbers we have for him, this kind of stuff. And the last name is different, but the address matches. So I'm like, it has to be this person. And it's got to be like a maiden name situation. But it had like 8 phone numbers listed. So I'm like, fuck, there's no way I'm going to randomly pick the right phone number.
Right.
So we went against the cops' advice, and Sunday after church, we went over to their house because it was literally 5 minutes.
That's a bold move.
5 minutes away. Well, the other thing was we wanted to prove that the vehicle that hit us.
True.
And sure enough, it's in there in the fucking driveway.
With purple on it?
It didn't have any purple on it. What it did have was a big-ass scuff mark because it was the front corner as they were pulling in. So the other part that got us is it was the fucking speed bump was right there. So she came over that speed bump while turning, boop, and then clipped us. And we asked her, she answered the door. Luckily, she answered the door. And was like, hey, are you this name? And she's like, yes. I was like, you hit us in the parking lot last night. And it's like, she looked real confused at first, like, how did you find me? And then, so he said, look, there was a witness who saw you do it, took a picture of your thing. That's how we got your information, but we had no phone number to get a hold of you, and we needed to find you. Because all we want is, like, we don't want to press charges or nothing. We just want to exchange information to get this shit taken care of. Because obviously your vehicle's going to have damage. You hit us bad enough to make our car look like that. Your vehicle, I mean, it's bullshit on her car, to be totally honest. Like, nothing. You could touch it up, and it wouldn't even matter. Yeah. No, there's not even a dent. It's just scraped. So, either way, long story short, we did get all the info from her, and we asked, why didn't you leave a note? And she's like, well, I didn't have anything to write on. And it's like, okay, but why didn't you call the cops? You just hit a car.
Yeah.
You have insurance. It's not like you, it's like leaving the scene was a crime. Hitting us in a parking lot wasn't.
That's FSGI.
Yeah.
And that's what, a state felony?
Yeah, it is a felony to leave the scene of an accident like that. Now, she would not have gotten a ticket for hitting us. They couldn't do anything. It was in a parking lot.
Yeah.
We would have just exchanged information. The cop would have been like, okay, dokie, there we go. Boop. Go about your day. Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
But because they left, it was a crime. And like we said, look, it's like, we don't want to do anything wrong here. We just want your insurance to cover it. But why did you leave? And she's like, well, I figured you would find me eventually. It's like, how? How would we find you? It's like, how? We didn't know who hit us. We didn't.
Which translates to, I was hoping you wouldn't find me.
Yes. I mean, she was nice about it, but she was definitely confused. And she said she called her husband immediately after, and she said, what should I do? And he's like, leave a note. It's like, but also sit there and wait.
Right.
Because it happened around about 8:30, and we walked out of there at 8:50. It would have been 20 minutes, but the fucking witness put in the effort to find us, failed, but at least left us a fucking note.
That's a good dude.
Yeah. Shout out to Jose. He fucking helped us out. If not for him, we'd have been fucked. We'd have been paying whatever it costs to fix our fucking car. Probably lose our entire settlement we just got.
Right.
Hopefully not. I mean,
that scratch, that's
not a scratch. It fucking dented the fender well.
That's looking like $1,400 worth of damage.
At least. I mean, they can hammer that out, but odds are they're just going to replace that quarter panel. The door will be fixable.
Yeah, no bondo.
No. But I mean, it hit that fucking body line on the curve of the fucking.
Oh, right on the point
on the fender.
Yeah.
So it's like that has to be. They're not going to hammer that out. So I already picked the body shop and all that. Scheduled it for tomorrow. But so like I've mentioned at the top of the fucking show, Saturday was identity theft, and then finished the end of the day with vehicle wrecked. It's like, God damn it! It's like we're nearly a year from Jessica's accident. It happened on September 28th.
Hey, you saw that Mr. Bean gif I threw up?
Yeah,
I'm just frustrated as shit,
dude. Like, she calmed down more than I did, but I'm like still kind of. I'm more pissed that they just left, because I'm like, if it was me and I fucking hit somebody's car, and I couldn't immediately find the person, I'd have called the cops on myself. I've been like, hey, or I would have called the insurance company at bare minimum. Mm-hmm. I would have filed a claim sitting there waiting. I'd have been like, hey, I hit this car. I don't know whose it is.
See, at least you found out who did it.
Yeah.
The first week I got my little work van.
Yeah. Oh, you've said it multiple times here.
No, this is different. I was sitting at, where was I? Southwest. Okay. No, United. Out front, picking up some cargo. Uh-huh. And from what I saw, a box truck, short frame box truck, with its little ladder deal, backed into the top of my hood and put a nice little dent and scratch in it. Oh. Days after I got it.
I was gonna say, you said you had like an accident.
And then the first month I had it, a fellow driving a municipal water truck.
Yeah, that's the one you mentioned then.
With an excavator on a trailer behind him.
Yeah.
Rear-ended me because some little dude,
that's right,
new FBI contractor motherfucker, decided to slam into traffic, cross 3 lanes of traffic to get onto the what was a beltway from 249.
Oh yeah,
that's and I jammed on because I leave such a following gap out of habit. I had enough room to stop, and even after getting rear-ended, I only put a 3-inch scratch in the back of his bumper. With my friggin' license plate.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that. So, like, here's the thing. Like, if it was my car, I mean, I'd actually be more pissed if it was my car, because it's going to be super hard to fucking replace anything that happens to my car.
Yeah, we can paint that, but the rest of the car will look like shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, that would be the excuse to get the car painted, right? But it would just be finding...
they don't want to do that. I had some old lady...
Oh, they would write my car off 100%.
Yeah. In my old Camaro.
I'd be like, nope.
I had some lady with an eye patch
Tinnitus.
side swiping the living crap out of my Camaro, leaving blue paint down the spoiler and some of the side.
Your fucking
My ugly purple brown car.
yeah. What I forgot what color I called that.
It was fugly.
I forgot what I called that the other day when you talked about it.
Eggplant.
Rotten eggplant. That's
Eggplant terrible. Yeah.
right. Rotten eggplant. And nobody likes eggplant.
But anyway, she said, so how about I just give you $20 and we call it no.
Yeah, no. This is more than $20.
The insurance come out $750. And I said, well, what about the rest of the car? Nothing's going to match.
Yeah.
He said, well, that's not our problem.
True.
Yeah. So I just took the cash.
Yeah,
Buffed it out.
Well, you know what's really funny is the first accident my car was ever in that I wasn't involved. My friend's wife borrowed my car to go pick up their niece from school. Was on the fucking phone when she pulled out of the school and clipped a fucking F-350 that was going by. Mm-hmm. So fucked up my fender.
See, I don't let people borrow my shit at all.
Didn't have a choice.
Yeah, my stepson just learned that the hard way. The cookie troll.
Yeah.
He let his dad borrow his car. He got in a fender bender with it.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have a choice because we were currently working on their car.
Yeah.
And they needed to go pick up the kid. We had bits and pieces off their car. It wasn't going anywhere. So I said, okay, you were trained on how to drive my car. I trust you to drive my car. No, literally, like to get her driver's license, she learned to drive in my car. She took her driving test in my car.
Ooh,
so
we'll
I could trust her to drive my car.
We'll be doing the driver's test with my boy on the 10th.
Yeah. Did he finally finish his fucking shit? Weeks late.
Oh, not weeks, months. If he would have applied himself every night for 2 weeks, he would have been done.
See, the funny thing is like
he would have been driving for 6 months now or longer.
I never dealt with that shit. I did my driver's ed thing and I was in and out. Like I did my however many weeks of driver's ed, and that was it.
I did a summer school. Easy.
Yeah, that was summer school. Yeah, the only summer school I ever did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
You did.
Yeah, a while back. Yeah,
but it's the him not wanting to put in the work.
He's also been kind of busy.
Sort of, but
I mean,
you think that's something you'd want to do?
He works more hours than I do, and has farm chores.
Yeah,
yeah. So he's been busier. I could have taken his driving. I could have done driver's ed for him.
Yeah. The kid's a good driver. He's a damn.
That's what I'm saying.
driver.
He's already practically has the skills. It's just he's never gotten a license.
Right.
Well, up until.
But we got to touch up his parallel parking, and I think other than that, we're squared away.
Yeah. Just buy a vehicle that'll parallel park itself.
It's on him to finish the test and pass that himself.
Yeah.
And I've been telling him, you have a month. Study.
Yeah.
I said, I'll pay for this one, but if you screw it off and don't study and fail it, the rest is on you. Someone else can deal with it.
I just remembered something that really fucking pissed me off Saturday.
Uh-oh.
And it's a driving situation. So obviously I drive for work. I'm in my company vehicle on Saturday. I was at a residence that I could not get into because their gate was shut and locked. So, and I was on the side of a fucking highway. Mm-hmm. I was like, shit. It's like, now I had to pull out of here, but I nosed in like I was going to drive into the place. Can't get in. I got to back up. But I needed to go east, but there was no way I could back out into traffic that way. So I ended up having to back up onto grass and shoulder, what little there was, go west to the next road to pull a U-E and go the direction I needed to go. But when I did that turnaround, I pulled into that other road. There was already cars there, but there was a little dirt patch that I could pull around to flip back to get into traffic. This motherfucker coming over the railroad tracks sees me trying to fucking pull out, pulls up next to me in her fucking little Hyundai whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, God damn it. Okay, fine. They're about to pull out. No big deal. So they pull up, the first car goes, they pull up. So I'm trying to pull out, and this fucking douche canoe in a fucking big ass Chevy diesel sees me clearly trying to fucking go and guns it. And then I said, screw you. I'm bigger than you.
Plus right of way.
I should have had right of way. I clearly am trying to get onto the fucking road to pull out. And he starts screaming at me from his fucking window. Fuck you. You're not getting, well, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm yelling back at him like, you see I'm trying to pull out, dude. Why are you being a dick? And so he pulls up next to me, forces his way up, next to me rolls down his window, starts screaming at me directly. I'm like, fuck you, dude. It's like, you knew I was trying to pull out, and you're going to be a fucking dick about it.
Yep.
And it's like screaming at me as though I'm being the dick.
I don't know. I'd get out, beat the brakes off of him.
Can't exactly do that. And he also had people in the truck with him. I was alone.
Still more fun. I'm good for 3 or 4. Let's go.
No. Either way. So I fucking just lay on my horn as he pulls up, and I pull out behind him, and then he fucking guns it, spinning his fucking tires to pull out another thing. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. It's like, thing is, he's in a work truck.
Yep.
I could easily go to his fucking business and be like, hey, who drives that truck right there?
Right.
Because he decided to be a fucking dickhead in traffic the other day. You might want to look at that.
Right.
Either way. So I know what because it's like, it's one of those ones where it's like,
I'd have to call for a different reason. Who drives that truck? Well, he won't be in tomorrow.
yeah. Well, I can't exactly commit acts of violence while I'm at work. Maybe acts of defense, but not violence.
Wait. That's part of my job.
That's literally your job. Not mine, though. But either way, that pisses me off because it's like,
it's a good gig if you can get it.
yeah, because I ended up arguing with my supervisor when I got back because he says that people down here can't drive worth a shit and they're all rude as fuck. And I'm like, first of all, that's usually within the city, but usually out in the country, people are a little bit nicer, a little bit more courteous, especially when you're trying to obviously get into traffic.
Unless you're the idiots that always get in front of me back home that want to go, I don't know, half the speed limit all the time everywhere. It seems like I always get behind the slowest people when I'm in the biggest hurry.
Well, yeah, that's more on you than them, though. Because they could be driving the actual speed limit, but to you, because you're in a hurry, you perceive it as slower.
No, they're not. This individual was not.
Were you in the Suburban?
No.
Okay.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, your speedometer's off because you're big tires.
Yeah, that means it says I'm going slower, but I know it's 10 miles an hour faster.
It's not. So either way, even your extremely broken Suburban. Either way.
Poor girl.
Actually, yeah. So either way, the point was, like, when you're mentioning the fucking driving school and stuff, is like thinking about what you're taught to do in certain situations, you know, because he's even yelling, like, well, if you waved at me or something, I'd have let you in. I'll be like, can't you just see that I'm literally trying to get onto the street?
That whole flashy light blinking thing?
No, he's like, because I'm parallel.
Oh, okay.
I'm parallel to the road and I'm trying to get over. And he's like, nope. And I'm like, dude.
We talked about it last week, though. The whole me generation.
Yeah, he's just a fucking dick. Clearly younger than me, probably in his fucking early 30s at best. And it's just like, fuck you, dude. And like, they just piss me off. And I was like, I see a lot of stupidity on the road, like every fucking day. Especially considering we had a full moon last week. People were really driving retarded.
Gorgeous. I stared at it half the night.
Tuesday when I got to work was right when it was at its lowest point and it was massive in the sky. I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, oh, no wonder people were driving like morons.
Yeah, I got home.
Oh, by the way, we saw you the other day. Last Sunday. After church, we saw you. You pulled out of the apartments.
Oh, was I on the little?
Yeah, you were in the van.
So I've since stripped all the.
I know. I've seen you without the
decals.
Yeah, but we saw you.
I'm back to being incognito.
Yeah, now you just look like any other shitty work van.
Finally,
you and your shitty van.
My shitty van. Welcome, shitty walk.
Shitty walk.
You want shitty beef?
Yes. Shitty beef.
Stupid Mongolians. That was one of my favorite South Park episodes.
So. By the way, that was because we've got off on some extra tangents. I forgot the other main topic I wanted to talk about today. P. Diddy.
Speaking of P.
Yes.
Yeah, timeout.
God damn it.
I know, right?
You suck at this.
One piece later.
Yeah. So P. Diddy is a fucking horrible criminal. Also, fuck you, Sean. I listened to the message he sent me.
Oh, really?
He was making fun of me for crying at the Grand Tour ending.
I tried.
That's why his power is fucking crying, because he's a dick.
I tried not to.
Yeah, you're a dick. You're both dicks.
Well, I did make fun of you.
You did.
No, I did not.
You did.
Oh.
Either way. So, yeah, fuck you, Sean.
P. Diddley. Gotcha.
Also, yeah, so P. Diddy, literally P. Diddley.
Yep.
So we talked about it earlier in the year when he first got indicted for sex trafficking and all the other horrible, horrible shit that he did. And apparently now that he's been properly put in jail for it, like they're holding him because they seized everything they could find at his 2 different houses back months ago.
Yeah, they simultaneously raided both.
Both, yeah, because his
Like 2 different sides of the country at the same moment.
yeah, California and Florida at the same time. And well, the fact that the Justice Department's actually doing the right thing. So in a minor capacity, he's essentially the rap version of Jeffrey Epstein. He's definitely did lots of sexually deviant stuff with underage girls.
Well, wasn't he working with the feds, turning state's evidence against others
Epstein?
for a
Yeah,
while?
Epstein.
No, Diddy.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't see anything about that.
that fella that J.D. Delay was talking about it earlier.
Oh.
And now apparently he's not playing ball, and they're just crashing down on him.
Well, I mean, it's weird that he would be turning state's evidence after committing so many heinous crimes in and of himself. I'm sorry, you don't turn somebody like that. You put their asses away forever, and then take down everybody else anyway.
Well, that's
the right way to do it.
Well, that's what they're looking at. I did notice that after everything that recently came out, that statement and that article you sent me,
Yeah.
the same fellow I was listening to earlier noticed how funny it was that how quickly other people started deleting
Yep.
and everything their
Yep.
accounts. The first one was Usher, and then Pink right behind him.
Pink right behind that, and then a couple other people. A lot of mainstream art or hip hop artists all deleted their social medias at the same time. And there are what is being called the Diddy tapes.
Yeah,
The work because he recorded a lot of these actions.
the freak fests,
freakouts.
freakouts. That's it.
So freakouts where they basically just had, in a way, orgies
It was friggin' just
or basically
straight up hedonism.
straight up hedonism, but it was the same type of deal as Epstein, videoing it, using it as blackmail to do God knows what, with these people. And a lot of big name celebrities were already named in it beforehand.
Yeah.
And now they have evidence, and people are starting to be like, do they have one on me? And, so now they're going over all of his connections with people across the board, because he was really fucking influential, not just musically, but, on the production side.
Yeah, I've stopped keeping up with the music scene for years and years now. So,
Well, yeah, I don't blame you, but I didn't pay attention to him really at all since the 90s.
yeah.
But apparently this shit has been going on for a long time because, he was accused by his ex-girlfriend of doing so many horrendous things to her when she was 16.
They got it on video last time of her assaulting her.
Yeah.
I mean, dragging her by her hair, throwing shit at her. And
Yeah. And I was in a hotel. That's what kind of started all this.
she was the first one to come forward, but there have been others since.
Yeah, since, but there was a lot that were basically paid off to shut up. And
Oh, there's been a lot of that.
yeah, we covered that.
And what's his name?
That's-
That other rapper that
a lot
had
of
his
that.
car blown up.
I don't know.
It was in here.
I read it hours ago, and I've had tequila since then.
Good person.
Also, I think it was the ice. The ice made it taste not great.
Keep talking.
Well, I don't have anything to talk about because you were the one bringing up the thing.
True.
Either way, the point is that there was a laundry list of fucking things. Like I was reading through the list of crimes. Basically, it's just like
I mean, it's long.
a lot of it is repetitive because it's the same shit over and over again, depending on who it's been done to. But then, like, also the trafficking of minors, trafficking of hookers across state lines, God knows what else. It's just like basically just nothing but sexual deviance since the fucking 90s, essentially. And because powerful people are stupid, they videoed the shit and they kept the videos. It was like, how retarded do you got to be to film a crime and hold on to the evidence?
Yeah.
But then also force other people. That was the biggest thing, is that he forced like Justin Bieber's on that list, doing stuff, stuff done to him. Basically, he's more of a victim, which he already complained about basically being a fucking sexual victim back when he started getting big. Like everybody was treating him like shit. There's like a compilation of fucking people kind of assaulting him. So especially like female celebrities, like fucking just doing whatever they want, grabbing him, kissing him, whatever. It's like, where did this idea come from that you could just do this? And it turns out that maybe Bieber had some stuff done to him at some point or was forced to do stuff. I know there's other like smaller rappers who were basically like almost gun to their head type situation, you're gonna fuck her the way I want to watch you fuck her,
Yeah.
and or else your career is going in the toilet. You know, so like I said, if it's like it was basically like Epstein, you know, kind of, hey, here's this thing, but if you don't do this, I'm gonna tell everybody you raped her and ruin your career. But if you fuck her right now on camera,
Oh, it's been bad. I mean, just looking through that list of charges.
yeah, you've got my
and,
phone's
and
up there. I
everything
can't-
that. Yeah. It's awful.
Yeah, I mean, read off a couple things since you have it there.
Let's see here.
I can't pull up the list. The link is in my text messages.
It's long.
Well, pick one. Just read something.
Let's see. From at least 2008 up until the filing of the indictment, Diddy and his associates are accused of being members of a criminal organization as part of Combs Enterprise. They allege Diddy's high-ranking members attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution,
Yep.
narcotics offense, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice.
Yep. All of that.
He was the Cassie. His ex-
Cassie was the girlfriend he.
Well, she reports him talking about wanting to basically blow up another rapper's car because he was talking to Cassie while they were broke up.
Yeah.
And sure enough, his car blown the hell up, burned to the ground.
Was he in it?
Nope.
Okay, so this wasn't like Biggie or somebody.
I'm trying to remember who it was.
Tupac and Biggie, that was a different thing.
Right. I mean, hell, Puff's associates often allegedly aided in keeping his abuse a secret. In one instance, they required a victim to remain in hiding for several days at a time in order to recover from injuries Combs inflicted.
Yeah.
In Cassie's lawsuit filed against Diddy last November, she claimed she would be hidden away after Diddy beat her.
Yeah. That way nobody sees the bruises and asks
I
questions.
mean, it's awful.
Yeah, it's horrendous. And it's like, she actually, I think, pretty sure she came out with the initial lawsuits and whatever years ago, and nobody believed her.
I mean, his employees are accused of often booking the hotel rooms used for the freak-offs and would stock it with controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. His associates would allegedly clean the hotel rooms.
Whoa.
Well, what'd I do?
You yoinked the cable.
But they would allegedly clean the rooms afterwards to mitigate the hotel charges.
You mean remove evidence? Well, obviously, because the hotel had to charge them for the horrendous things they were doing, because it's not like it was like missionary position clean sex.
You were talking about coercion.
Oh, remember the 10,000 or the 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
Yeah, that's right there. It
Yep.
says right here, the rap mogul is said to have often exhibited control over victims with physical violence and promises of career opportunities.
Correction, yeah.
However, the indictment alleges he also tracked victims' locations, began monitoring their medical records, and dictated their appearance. He also allegedly supplied them with drugs and threatened their careers and livelihoods if they didn't participate in the freak-offs. He also used recordings made of victims during the freak-offs as blackmail and collateral to bend them
He's
to his will.
literally Epstein, basically, but not on a global scale, just on a rap music scale.
It says right here, Diddy often tried to call and provide victims with a false narrative of events to cover up his crimes.
Yeah.
2 of those phone calls were allegedly recorded.
Yeah, see, at no point, to me, fuck him trying to do any kind of like, hey, I'll turn state's evidence against the people I did all these things. It's like, no. You go to jail forever, and we're going to go ahead and take down your associates anyways. But, like, they need to make this shit public. Like, everyone who went along needs to be made public.
Right.
Every
single person that hid evidence,
Yeah.
Helped just stocks, anything to do with it.
Now, victims don't need to be made public unless they want to be made public.
Yes.
But everyone who helped, I don't care what level of I don't care if it's Jay-Z himself. Big bald dick fucking Jay-Z himself was part of it. Fucking make it public tomorrow.
Right.
We never got the fucking Epstein list. There's a shorter list, but still.
Oh, this is going to be a big list too.
I mean, it's not going to be Epstein big. But,
who knows?
I mean, we're talking.
Well, he's been doing that for how many years now?
Yeah, but within the rap community, not the world governments.
Right.
You know, you didn't have princes of fucking.
Well, how the hell
Britain.
did Pink get drugged into all that shit?
She was probably made to do the opposite. She probably was forced to fuck some fucking black sex slave or white male sex slave. Wow, that was
And who knows? who knows how many others, you know?
Because basically what he did is like he would get whoever, and because he's a producer, he'd be like, well, kind of like how, say like with Elvis.
What, the Weinstein thing?
Very Weinstein like, but like, well, I'm thinking back in the day when your manager, like say Elvis is, the Colonel, he's the one who got him drugs. He's the one who basically hooked up a lot of things for Elvis behind the scenes. Most of that was for control purposes, but he also controlled his career. Hey, if you don't do these things, but he was also skimming off the top. He was making bets on Elvis, making money off him off the side, all that kind of horrible stuff.
Yeah.
With Diddy being on his production end, he's basically holding people's careers over their head if they don't do these weird fucking things. How Pink got involved, more than likely in the same type of situation. But the question is, was she because obviously the people he's having to coerce are victims, but people who are going along with it and helping are not victims, they're accomplices. So
I think people all need to keep in mind that when people that are entrenched in Hollywood, people that are entrenched in that rap scene, or in LA, San Francisco, when they start running their mouths and giving their opinion on, public events, politics, anything going on, you keep in mind that they are maybe not part of a lot of this shit.
Well, assuming that any of the other stuff that has ever come out about the Hollywood scene, the sex and drug parties or the weird occult fucking shit that happens out there.
Just keep in mind when they start running their mouths.
Most of them cannot possibly talk about other people's morals.
Yeah.
Given the shit they probably have done. And they feel either guilty about or are too ashamed to ever mention it happened to them. Which might be what happened to Pink. Pink could be a victim in
or they're a complete and utter narcissist and don't give a damn.
Because you can see how Diddy treated women. Imagine if he had
sociopaths. They just don't give a damn.
Yeah. Yeah, sociopaths just disconnect from things.
Yeah.
But clearly he's a psychopath. I mean, like, not only was he physically abusive, but controlling, and, not to mention the horrendous tales of the stuff he would do to people or force them to do. And it's just, I'm glad that it did finally fucking move forward.
Burn his organization to the ground. Not literally, but figuratively. I mean, just tear it apart piece by piece. So
yeah. And give the money to the victims.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody who was made a victim, sell off all of his assets, give him nothing, put him in jail for life. Everyone else involved who, unless they were a victim themselves, all of them go to jail.
Put him in jail, put him in Gen Pop, and see what happens.
Yeah, Gen Pop. Sorry, music joke. But either way, I mean, that was a big fucking story over the weekend that he did get actually properly taken down for it. I mean, it's not over.
Yeah, I spent about an hour and a half after you sent that this morning.
Yeah,
going through it, reading, watching videos, trying to figure out what was going on, because it was complete new to me.
Yeah, I mean, I had heard about it, but I hadn't gone into details of it to see exactly what they got him for.
At the same time, I don't stop and watch the news. Like my father-in-law, he's got the news on half the day.
Yeah, well, I watch the news.
And all I do is get mad looking at all that crap going on.
Yeah.
So I'd rather focus on positive stuff. A lot of the stuff you see in the news, politics, etc., we have zero control over.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do as individuals to change that fact.
Yeah.
But what we can do is look inward. Get ourselves, our families, our properties, our homes, whatever, prepared for the absolute worst that's coming. Whether we need it or not, I hope not.
See, I live in an apartment. I can't have a bunker.
But you can still prepare.
But I can't have a bunker. It's like I don't have a basement. I've got a downstairs.
Just start working on what you have control over instead of worrying about what's completely out of your hands.
Yeah. But side track slightly.
No more comic books.
No, not comic books.
Thank you.
Although it is fictional, a fictional image that was posted. People are up in arms this morning, because they're always up in arms, because Donald Trump, being the troll that he is, or somebody in the Trump organization, photoshopped one of the pictures of Kamala Harris while she was young and banging her way around Hollywood, photoshopped Diddy into one of the pictures to make it look like she's going to be on one of the Diddy tapes. And entirely possible, but they took the one with her and Montel Williams, which apparently she was running with Montel Williams there for a while, but I thought he was gay, so I don't know how that would work.
They might have been in some close circles.
Look, let's just be fair. She was running around that California scene when she was young, in her 20s, working her way through law school on her knees. Just letting that one go. But yeah, she probably saw or participated in something of the like at some point if she was in the scene at all. She was probably with somebody who probably did some stuff. Not saying she was with Diddy, not making that claim, but they're giving Trump a lot of shit. It's like, he fucking photoshopped this. He needs to drop out of the drop out of the presidential race because he's out here smearing her name by making.
Oh yeah, if you want to kick people out of the race for slinging mud, man.
Well, my response to that post was, how about all the Photoshop pictures of him as Hitler?
Yeah, for real.
That's probably worse. It's like, I don't know if you noticed that you guys have basically been calling him a Nazi who wants to kill all the gays and trans and force women to have babies.
And see, I've been seeing a lot of Marxist rhetoric going on right now. Karl Marx stated,
ridiculous.
Blame the opposition for what you're doing while you're doing it.
Yeah, accuse your enemy of what you are doing.
Exactly, to cause confusion and chaos. They're playing right out of the Marxist book.
They literally are following the communist.
Well, didn't Kamala's
handbook.
dad write that? The modern
No, he was a Marxist, but he didn't.
Well, he wrote the modern Marxist.
Okay, that, yeah. But I'm saying, like, they have been following, they being the left, not saying all Democrats, I'm saying the left very specifically, have been following the communist
the radical
playbook.
left.
The radical left has been following the communist handbook almost
To
to
a
a T. And we're just letting it happen. And what's his face way back when literally told us this was going to happen and how they were going to do it, and nobody fucking listened, or they used it as an instruction manual.
Yep.
Forgot who that guy.
Orwell?
No, it was like fucking Yuri Bezmenov.
Okay.
In his interview back in the 70s, he literally said, "This is how the communists will take down America," and it has been.
It'll be from within.
It was word for word what he said. Word for word, because he understood the fucking communists. He came from over there, and he came to America like a lot of those guys did to escape communism. And he said, "This is how they will take down. This will be the downfall of America, and they will do it this way." And they have done it to the letter. Like I said, it's like it was supposed to be a warning. They took it as an instruction manual.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now instead of the Minuteman, we're gonna have the tearing it up.
Don't mention. I might have to edit out that because that's one
knock
of those,
yourself out.
That's one of those keywords that YouTube will likely.
What, Minutemen?
No, the other one.
Okay.
They.
Well, then edit it.
I will edit that word out. I'll just edit that word.
Pineapple, just right over it.
No, it's fine. They're so sensitive about some of the. I mean, obviously, we got fucking age gated on something. So it's like if we put in political rhetoric, it's not even rhetoric. We're talking about what's happening. It's not even rhetoric.
No, we're talking about what other people are doing.
I am tired of that fucking word, rhetoric. It's like, no, we're literally describing what is happening.
These are facts, people.
This is a fact. This is not rhetorical. People don't understand what that word means.
No. We talk it all the time. People are confusing feelings with facts now. We don't give a damn how you feel. We want to know what the facts are.
Facts have feelings now.
Of course. I feel, well, okay, that's invalid.
I feel, therefore you die. I keep dropping the thing I'm messing with.
Yeah.
You know me, I have the fiddle. I can't pick it up right now. It's fine. I don't,
too fat to reach.
No, I can't. It's under my chair. I can't. It's literally under the center of my chair. I can't. I have to roll away to get it. And I'm not going to deal with that, or roll over it, which I also don't want to do. But either way, no, that was. I don't want to have a whole lot of angry political discussion today. But I wanted to talk about the Diddy thing because it's so fucking fresh. And also, by the way, the other thing, and we're not going to go into depth about it. The second assassination attempt, basically on Trump, we missed that entirely. It happened, but we didn't get a chance to talk about it because we had so many other things to talk about.
Yeah.
But I mean, no shots were fired. But this random dude who doesn't live in Florida was at Trump's golf course on a day that he had not announced he'd be golfing, had with him an SKS, very shittily put together SKS, and a couple of ceramic plates set up to block fire from different directions, and he was hiding in the bushes. And they saw his gun sticking out of the bushes, and that's the only reason they caught him.
Well, I was listening to Hannity on the radio, and it's either him or Michael Berry, one of them.
They sound the same.
But they basically said he was pissed off because Trump was advocating pulling out of the Ukraine, and this guy had so much of his time and basically his identity wrapped up in the Ukraine.
Yeah, he was over there. He was doing pro-Ukraine recruiting videos.
That he,
It's like, what the fuck, dude?
So I just don't get that.
It's all insane. All of it's insane. Because one, how did he know where to be? Is that they said they had him on camera 12 hours beforehand. There. That means he camped out waiting.
Moreover, right now,
Yeah.
on the way here, I was listening to the radio, and they said that the first shooter,
Yeah.
the trans
Yeah.
shooter,
Is that ever confirmed?
they refused to release basically his manifesto or his,
Yeah, we're still okay. So the actual shooter, we've still not gotten all the info on.
exactly. They were fear it would incite trouble, and it would just make things worse. But instead, this guy that took a shot at was trying to take a shot at Trump.
Yeah,
they released his already, even though
we know everything about this guy.
Even though it contained basically a challenge for anyone else to off Trump.
Not a challenge, a what's the word? Bounty.
Yeah, basically said $100,000,
$150,000 bounty on Trump's head.
So how is that not more dangerous?
That is way more dangerous. Well, that would make sense why they did that. Well, the other part is, of course, with the rumors that the first shooting was all planned and it didn't go to plan because Trump turned his head.
Yeah.
So they had to bury it.
Well,
why would we not know anything about this kid?
So you think the possibility, the people that are in control of that information want that out there?
Yeah.
They want.
Why else would they tell us?
Yeah.
Why else would every bit of information? The only thing that didn't, his social media accounts were scrubbed immediately.
Yeah, of course.
After they arrested him, his Twitter account was deleted right after his arrest, which means someone actively deleted his social media.
Yeah.
But then it was, because you can't always get rid of everything, people found a lot of his anti-Trump rhetoric online and stuff like that, and all this other stuff.
The sticker on
the videos,
sticker on his tailgate.
the stickers on the tailgate. They found the videos that he's posted, the pro-Ukraine recruitment videos, and all kinds of other stuff where he's whatever. And he lived. Okay, so a dude who lives in Hawaii, who has been fighting in Ukraine, somehow ends up in fucking Florida, out of the blue on a day that Trump supposedly never even planned to go golfing. It was a last minute decision. This dude somehow was there for 12 fucking hours waiting for Trump to show up. It's like, that's odd. Yeah. All of that's odd. Like how? Like how in the fuck? Like I guess if you could just wait and make the assumption he'll show up someday, but he wasn't packed to have like days worth of fucking stuff there.
Well, they did a Gallup poll.
Yeah.
On the effectiveness or people's opinion of the Secret Service. And in the 10 years they've had a Gallup poll, it's the lowest
it's
ever been.
Well, I mean, they've kind of been. Well, you got to think about it. He's also secondary or tertiary at best right now for Secret Service because we still have an active president. I mean, he's a corpse, but he's an active president. And then we have a person running for president who sucks ass but still needs Secret Service protection.
Who was never elected.
Who was never elected at all. Literally, never been elected to an actual, office.
Wasn't even elected as the Democratic candidate.
I mean, technically speaking, she was elected as vice president, but never set forth to. She's never won a single vote to be president.
Yeah,
that's the word we will say. But the point is, every single time that. And by the way, that's 2 assassination attempts. Technically 3. There was a third one, and if the bombs that were found at another place were to be believed, possibly 4 attempts in 2 months.
Well, we've got
no president has ever gone through this many assassination attempts and lived.
Well, we've got 43 days.
Yeah, barely
until the election.
Yeah,
and then another month and a half after that before whoever gets sworn in.
No, way more than that. They don't get sworn in until January 20th.
Okay, yeah.
So if he wins on November 5th, which he won't because states are already saying it's going to take us days to count it, and everybody else is like, no, it's not. Whatever the count is that night, we're done. We're not doing this 2 weeks of counting fucking votes.
For real.
Fuck you, Pennsylvania. Any state that says they can't get it done that night no longer gets to count after that night.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. Sorry, whatever the result is, it's over. Well, we don't have all of it. Yes, you do. You absolutely fucking do. And the post office is already saying, well, we don't know if we can handle all the ballots. I was like, you're not supposed to fucking handle any ballots.
Yes.
Like, they're not meant to go through the mail. It's like, that's not how this fucking works. Either way.
So how much you want to bet in another month we're going to try to have another lockdown?
They keep working on it. So bird flu is still bouncing around. They're still attempting monkeypox. There's a new warning I saw this morning about something. They're like, well, COVID is ramping up again. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
No, but, and I
Well, down here, it's not a big deal. We're Texans. We're part of the ungovernable, and we're going to do what we want to do to begin with.
for now, until we get a Democrat governor, when we get fucked.
Yeah.
As soon as our current governor's out and they replace him with a fucking Democrat from California that moved here in the last 2 years, we're fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we've narrowly escaped having Beto O'Rourke several times.
Well, things we won't discuss here will probably happen if it comes to it.
Yeah. So, but either way, what I was going to say was, what was the thing I was going to say? Fuck. Election. What was the thing? Damn it. I had a thought and then we got off on that and I had to scratch my back because I got a severe itch.
Fucking reset.
Literally, I have a bad itch right in the middle of my back and I forgot what I was going to say. I know it was about the voting situation. I just forgot what it was.
Carry on.
No. Because I follow Marjorie Taylor Greene, even though she's a little unhinged sometimes.
I kind of like her.
I like her. I like her as a person, but she does get a little unhinged. Every now and then she gets a bit unhinged. She put up a thing the other day that said, should the Supreme Court declare that you cannot, or no more universal mail-in balloting, or universal mail-in ballots are unconstitutional.
Right.
It's like, they can rule on that, and I think they should. Now, here's this weird line that I draw between where the federal government needs to get involved and things should be left to the states. This is a federal election. There should be federal laws from the top down on federal elections. Everything else, the states determine.
Yep.
This is for the president. This is for the Senate. This is for all of these fucking high-end federal fucking things that we vote for. Wait, which we vote for reps or we vote for, we do vote for senators now. Yep. Used to not. Senators used to be determined by our reps. I think we need to go back to that. Get rid of that amendment. Either way, I think in this case, universal mail-in ballots need to be completely illegal. Need to get away from all electronic voting machines. All of them, period. You want to still use electronic counting machines? And because then you can see if there's an error, you count by hand. But you got to think, I think an entire fucking South American country, one of the good ones, not the ones that just have dictators, held their entire fucking election by paper for the entire country, not just one fucking state, and counted it all and knew who won by the end of the day.
Yeah.
Boom. Over. You don't, it's like, you can do it. It has been done.
Wasn't a recent ballot slapped down that would basically limit voting to actual American citizens?
That was the SAVE Act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they shot that down in a hurry.
Well, here's why it got shut down. So they shut down the SAVE Act by itself, and so they tried to attach it to
part of the spending bill.
The spending bill is the only way they said it would push it through, and then it got shut down there. So because they're basically the pro-American side, I'll say that, of Congress. The pro-American part of Congress said, we're not attaching a fucking voting bill to their fucking spending bill. And so it got voted out. So I think that they got the spending bill put through, but I don't know what the caveats there. I don't know how many more trillions of dollars we went into debt on that just to keep the government funded.
I say shut it down for a few weeks.
Shut it down. Remember years ago, the government was literally shut down for about 8 weeks until they finally got their shit together. Like, they literally had no Congress.
That's when you bar the doors, make them figure that shit out.
Yeah. And then
here's food, here's water, there's a bathroom over there.
It's kind of what they did. But then also, you can't hold them hostage, unfortunately. That's something about false imprisonment. But the thing is like...
Well, they were holding the country hostage.
They were. But actually, no, they weren't. Because they weren't doing their job, which was good. Them doing their job was keeping America in a good spot. Yeah. Every time they do their job, we get fucked. For the most part. But if you can't fucking get one side of the political aisle to say, no, illegals can't vote in our elections, you don't have an election.
No.
You don't. You don't have a fucking country. They said, you're ruining our democracy. It's like, you are literally bypassing the term democracy by allowing illegals to vote in our elections. That's not a democracy in the first place. Stupid motherfuckers. Even though that's not what we are.
I mean,
we're a fucking republic.
Go to Mexico, try to vote, see what happens.
We can't.
Exactly.
It'd be fun if we could.
Yep.
Go down there, vote in a new president.
Just annex Mexico.
We should annex Mexico. It'd be so fucking awesome if we annex Mexico. You know how much money we'd make?
Yep. I guarantee.
I mean, the cartels would literally already be here. We wouldn't have to fucking bar them.
Exactly.
Or we just wipe out the cartels. I saw a whole thing going through about whether or not we should take...
If a large percentage of Mexico and South America's population is here, just partner up, annex them, start taxing everybody.
Yeah, we need to annex Mexico because the wall will be way shorter. It'll be a much smaller wall at the bottom of Mexico.
Right?
It's like...
What, you mean the Panama Canal?
We built a big old moat. It's like, we will have a moat because we already ignore the moat we have.
Well, now there are alligators in the Rio Grande.
There's not alligators.
Yes.
There is not. That's a rumor. It's not proven.
I've seen them.
You have not. You've literally not.
I want gators in the Rio Grande. That'd be awesome.
They probably die.
No. Gators can survive.
No, you want
everywhere.
crocodiles in there because it's hot as balls and it can get very dry.
Florida does have a small population of crocodiles.
I want Nile crocodiles in the... I want saltwater crocs in the...
And
I want those 18-foot monsters.
and snag those rhesus monkeys from Florida and launch them over the border.
No, we don't want more monkeys. No.
Those herpes monkeys?
No, we don't want that. We don't need to be spreading monkeypox. No, it's just that, look, well, we also don't want that because we also need to get across that water sometime for things. We don't want to endanger our own people. We just want people to stop coming across it. I mean, like the buoy.
Good luck.
No, I want the saw blade buoys back. Those are okay.
Yep.
I mean, the point is not to kill people. The point is to deter them from trying to cross the fucking river. It's like, you see that big old gate over there with a whole bunch of people standing by it with welcome signs? We want you to go there to come into this country.
And then be told no.
Yeah, go over there, give them all of your information, and they go, well, are you coming in for a visit or are you coming here to stay? I'd be like, well, we'd like to stay. I'd be like, okay, well, here's what you're going to do. Here's your paperwork. There's a hotel about 17 miles that way inside Mexico. You're going to stay there for the next 5 years.
For real, the stay in Mexico policy worked.
It was amazing. It worked. We still had a lot of illegals that came across.
Dropped it like 42% or something like that.
It was absurd.
Yeah.
It was absolutely, it was a massive, massive drop. And people like to pick on, they try to say that, you know, Trump was so evil for his quote unquote racist ideas of immigration. It's like, do you know what Obama's nickname was? The deporter in chief. He deported more people than virtually any president ever has.
I just don't see how it's racist to put our nation first in our concern.
It's not our nation. It's the world's nation. You forget, Jeff.
Good gosh.
We have to be a world country.
Right now, I think isolationism would be a fantastic way to get things back.
At least mostly. 90% isolation would be great. I mean, it's the only way we'll get our own shit together.
Yeah.
But
well,
we can't do that.
We can't be fixing everybody's house if we have holes in our own roof.
But they don't. But you can't argue with the people who put the holes there. The people who put the holes there are the ones who are telling you that they're not there.
Yeah, of course.
Remember, don't believe your lying eyes.
See, I've known for a long, long time the government does not have our best interests at heart. They're only interested in their benefit.
They're here. They're from the government. And they're here to help.
That's one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard.
That was fantastic. I love when Reagan said that shit. I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Right?
It's like, no,
no thanks.
Yeah, ask all those FEMA people after Katrina how the government helped them.
For real.
Oh, look, the government serves some purposes, but then it also serves its own purpose way too much. It's like, you're supposed to serve the people. We're not supposed to make you richer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Once the government became a corporation, that's what happened.
I keep hammering on it, term limits.
Yeah, but that's what happened. The government became a corporation.
Well, that's why Donald Trump ran it so well. He ran the country like a business.
Well, no. What I'm saying is running the country like a business makes sense. The government became its own corporation.
Of course, you get
made its own laws that apply only to it.
You get these senators and congressmen that, quadruple or even more their own income.
Yeah.
By the time they get out of there.
Yeah, they set themselves up for life. And then they get to dictate your life while not living amongst the laws they set for you.
Exactly. They're out of touch. Completely
rules
out of
for
touch.
thee, not for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, and like all of that shit is like all of them. I mean, like I don't know if you ever
that's
seen.
across the board.
Have you seen this video where it's literally like?
I mean, I hate to see it. Even Marcus Luttrell is going to end up being the same way.
I hope not.
He is.
How do you know?
Look who backed him.
I don't know who backed him.
I mean,
I don't know anything about Marcus.
He's going to be a rhino.
Okay, they're all rhinos.
No.
Look, at this point, if they are not part of the Freedom Caucus or they're not MAGA types, they're going to be a rhino.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Trump is technically a rhino by definition.
Technically.
He's not a Republican. He's literally a Republican in name only. But he's the kind of rhino that's helping us, not the kind of rhino that's screwing us.
Mm-hmm. He's clearing a path, not running us over.
Yeah. It's like the other rhinos join in with the opposition. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. He's the kind of rhino who is the opposition.
That is a big problem because the one thing the Democratic Party does better than anybody else is stick together.
Yeah.
They band together.
Well, because they're forced to.
Yeah.
They're having, it's one big freak out. It's one big Democratic Party freak out.
And these Republicans that want to,
We're
work with the bipartisanship and all that.
Yeah.
It sets us up for failure.
Yeah, because Republicans are disparate in their beliefs, even while being on the same side.
Yeah.
Democrats all march in lockstep.
We are the good moral party.
Try to be.
Yeah.
Not all, we tend to fail.
Yeah.
But we try.
Well, we're only human.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is like, we're at least the party that should be of morality against the party that's against all morality. It's like, this is why we cannot move forward the way things currently are, because it is too far apart. It's much like you talked about with Islam. At the core, it's join or die. It's starting to become that between the left and the right.
Yeah.
If you do not do things our way, we will extinguish your existence.
Yeah.
When you've convinced half the population of this fucking country that the man who was the best for their existence is the biggest threat to their existence, in modern day, I should say, because back in the day there were really good presidents, but currently Trump was the best president we have had by far in my lifetime. On an objective level.
Matter.
On an objective level.
Not your feelings.
Yeah,
not how you feel, but facts.
Yeah, an objective level. He was the best president we ever had, but he is the biggest threat to these people's way of life and democracy, quote unquote.
What they fear is him exposing everything, which he will do.
Which he will do. Well, they fear loss of power.
Yeah.
That's it. Because that's all it comes down to.
And once again, that's where term limits are needed.
But there's no point in setting term limits when they don't believe in laws.
Well, still, it breaks that individuals.
But who will enforce it? They control all of it. You cannot set. You can vote for term limits, but when the president of the United States told the Supreme Court, "I don't care what your ruling is, I'm going to do what I want anyways." Mm-hmm. I don't know, kind of like a dictator would do.
Exactly.
I don't know if you know what a dictator tends to do, but he usually ignores his own lawmakers and just runs the country however he wants. And I remember a certain current president who did that, not the previous past president they said was a dictator. They claimed Trump was a dictator, and all he did was follow the rules and law. Then Biden gets into office, says, "Hey, I'm doing student debt forgiveness for everyone." Supreme Court says, Congress says you can't do that. I'm going to do it anyways. Starts forgiving debt. Supreme Court rules, you cannot do that. That is not in your enumerated powers. You have no control over the money. Does it anyways. He is literally breaking the fucking law, and there is no one to enforce it. So who the fuck would reinforce term limits for these evil people? No one. When the fucking head of the FBI, not the FBI, the DOJ, when he was literally called to Congress to come testify, why are you doing these things to Trump? You were not supposed to be doing these. Why have you done these things and not these things? When they were supposed to bring in Mayorkas for failing in his duties of DHS to fucking keep the border secure. He refused to come to Congress. Was
never held in contempt.
Was never held in contempt. They were supposed to send the sergeant at arms of Congress to retrieve him, to be brought in with charges of contempt of Congress, already failing his duty. Never happened. They said he couldn't do it. There is no law that they cannot ignore.
See, I'm happy to take over that job.
But this is the problem, Jeff. We can sit here and talk all day long about how a right and just system should activate. But when the evil people are in control of the system, you cannot ever make change. That's why we will never see real progress, actual progress, not what they call progress, in this country until these, because they call themselves progressives and they're not. They're regressive.
It scares me to think of where that breaking point's going to have to be.
Well, we know where it is.
I know
that's already been
where
defined. We know the words, we know the actions,
Yeah.
everything that will have to happen.
It's just not going to be a good day in our nation.
No, and that's all the.
But once again, I reiterate: concern yourself with things you have control over.
Yeah,
as I was saying earlier.
Yeah,
that's all we can do right now.
Yeah, but that's the terrifying part about the world we currently live in, that we have been absolutely shown over the last 5 or 6 years. The government runs however it wants to. Your vote doesn't matter. They will put whoever they want in, no matter what it takes. It's like they will ignore any lawsuits. They will throw things out of court. They will charge you with crimes that are not provable. They will invent crimes to charge you for, all to keep you from exposing anything of them and taking them out of power.
Yep.
But when you have no one to enforce that, like even if Trump wins the election, heartily, landslide victory, 49 states, because ain't no way he's getting California, they will not ever allow him to make it to be inaugurated.
Really?
There's no way they'll do it.
You think they're going to off him?
I don't think they'll off him. I think they will literally fucking put up the National Guard.
Good grief.
Because, like, they already tried to arrest him before he could fucking go to the RNC.
Yeah.
Well, they tried to kill him before the RNC. They wanted him, his sentencing of the trial of the crime that they couldn't prove he actually did. Remember that? All the crimes he supposedly did, they have no proof of that, and there's no complainant.
He's essentially going to have the Democratic Party declared a terrorist group.
Yeah. So
look, that's what they are right now.
But here's the problem. To do that, he has to become the dictator that he's always said he is. Because when the Democrats declared that everyone on the conservative side is the biggest threat, they said white conservative men are the biggest threat to the existence of the United States. They said that out loud. The president of the United States declared basically white conservative men to be the biggest threat to the United States, period. Not outside forces, not Russia, not China, not Iran. White men in this country who just want to live their fucking lives.
For real. Well, yeah, what happens when the people that just want to be left alone get pissed off?
Yeah, well, even beyond that. So we already are accused, throwing us sort of under that bus, even though we're not necessarily in that bus, of being terrorists already. We're declared racist, we're declared terrorists, we're declared all these horrible things. If Trump gets up there and literally says, all of these Democrats who have done these horrendous things against the Constitution, to me and to you, I will arrest, they will call him a dictator.
Of course.
And turn anyone and everyone they can. That's how they get the civil war they want. We don't want a civil war. We want life to go back to normal.
I just hope we never ever have to prove them right. Because
November 6th, we'll find out.
That's going to be.
It's a weird fate.
Just be ready.
It's a weird fate that November 5th is the day of our election. I mean, it's not a big deal for us, but that is a huge deal for Britain.
Yeah.
You know, the 5th of November, that was a big thing. The whole Guy Fawkes situation. You know, basically tried to kill the members of Parliament because he disagreed with them. It was like, gee, I wonder how this can go wrong. You know, but also, I've said it before, you can't have the person who's running for president counting the votes. Kamala's president of the Senate. You cannot have her there on January 6th counting the fucking votes. Nope. That should be illegal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Joe Biden should do it. Technically, if that's the case.
He'd get to 15, maybe 20.
Well, this is one reason why I would agree that they need to just go ahead and make her president, because then she wouldn't be in that position. So whoever the new vice president would be, the vice president installed, would be the one who counts, not her, because you should never have that ability to count the votes for your own fucking election. It's like, I'm sorry, why is no one screaming about that? That is the most... It has nothing you do in your life, nothing that happens in Congress, nothing that happens at all matters, except for the fact that she gets to count the votes.
Yeah, see,
That's the insanity level right there.
see, I'm starting to get worked up, and I've talked about politics quite enough today.
I am too, but that's what I'm just saying. We weren't supposed to go that deep on that topic, but it's a problem. It's a big fucking problem.
There's so many problems right now that don't have good answers, don't have good solutions,
Dig
or
into,
we're not allowed.
dig into your Bible.
Yeah,
Just go back to having faith. Have faith, and
I don't know. I've been reading Psalm 31 quite a bit here lately.
yeah,
You familiar with that?
probably.
It's good,
My Bible's over there.
but
My Bible's right
the
there.
new translation is basically, "In you, Lord, I have taken refuge. Let me never be put to shame. Deliver me in your righteousness. Turn your ears to me. Come quickly to my rescue. Be my rock of refuge, a strong fortress to save me.
Okay. I think I've heard that basically turned into
Since you are my rock and my fortress, for the sake of your name, lead and guide me. Keep me free of the trap that is set for me. You are my refuge. Into your hands I commit my spirit."
okay. So I've heard all that.
I'm thinking about
That's isn't it? Was that Jesus's last words?
no, that was Psalms 31.
No, I'm saying, but that is one of those last.
I don't think so.
I think that's been adapted into like being one of the last. You've got to stop doing that. Stop swinging your hands about like a monkey. Stop it. You see this?
Oklahoma.
You see that cord in front of you? Stop hitting it with your hand. I don't even know how you're hitting. It's way over there.
I know, right?
It's like you somehow are managing to pull that cord.
I cover some ground, baby.
The patrons will see that, but nobody else will. Speaking of that, the Patreon, you guys can see the full uncut video version of this where we rant probably too long, and you get to watch Jeff go pee because I didn't turn off the camera. That's not true. That's not true. I did turn off the camera. Plus, he closed the door, so we couldn't watch anyways.
Oh.
I'll install mirrors next time. They just put a mirror on that wall so we can watch the toilet from here. What? It's for safety. I'm being very P. Diddy about this.
Be diddly.
Install cameras everywhere. Also, did you check out the new hand soap that was in there?
The working hands?
Huh? No, the hand soap. There's a new.
Oh, Stranger Things.
Yeah, it smells really good. It's leather and coffee.
Oh, nice.
And whiskey. I think it's leather and whiskey.
I like it.
Yeah, Jessica bought that. It's weird that it's Stranger Things brand, but it is what it is.
But anywho's,
Yeah, my
I
nose
think I'm
hurts.
done rambling on today.
Yeah, I know. It's already been 2 hours and 43 minutes.
Yep.
We did another one that was damn near 3 hours. Except I had to cut less of this one. I'm like no joke. I pre-edited a lot of 111, and I'm like, I'm removing like 22 minutes of this episode. I was just like, damn. Mind you, this is the uncut, so there's some shit to remove anyways. Either way, guys, do the like and subscribe thingy. Let us know what you think down below. For the love of God, leave some comments. Let us know what the hell is going on in your life. It's like we talk a lot. We want to hear from you guys. Write in either to the
One of us
Facebooks.
talks a lot. Yeah.
I do talk quite a lot. That's what I do. Oh, by the way, I did do a Fat Electrician reaction
Okay, cool.
this past weekend to the new Fat Files,
All right.
where he was talking about Arizona tea. It's pretty cool. I did not know these things about that company. It was very cool. Very, very.
They've tried really, really hard to keep their prices down.
Yeah, and he goes over how they did it. And I was like, okay, that's impressive because I would have never considered that.
Right.
So either way, if you guys want to see that, go check out the It Doesn't Have to Make Sense channel where I actually did that little reaction to that. I learned that. And also, I discovered that under low-ish light, this camera sucks. That was horrible. Like, I pulled that video. I'm like, oh, my God. I was like, this is horrible. I'm not doing that ever again. But also, now that we're not relying on a ring light at all anymore. It's horseshit. It was so bad Friday night.
Oh, really? It was
Friday was
possessed as hell?
It was so bad. It was so bad. I set these lights up over here because the ring light was. I tested it beforehand. It would not stop blinking.
Oh, damn.
Would not stop.
I mean, just constant?
It was constant.
Oh, wow.
I was
That's
like,
awesome.
Shit. So if you guys want to help pay for the new ring light, by all means, sign up for the SHOKY Patreon for at least $5 a month so that you can actually, support this channel or any of them if you want the full uncut video version of this or the 3 times a month podcast where we sit and hang out, me and the patrons. We sit and talk about stuff, usually politics nowadays. You were on one episode of that a while back.
For a minute.
Well, when next time you get a Wednesday that we can hang out. You got to sneeze. 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 Come on, Astapro. Come on, Astahole.
Leave my ass to hole out of this.
Well, you're the one with the Astahole spray.
Anyway,
Either way. Do you like how I rolled talking about the light into
My asshole?
no the Patreon? I just do that. I do that light segue. If you want to help pay for a new light, I can do that. I just always give the segues.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
My ears hurt. I think it's a tequila. By the way, I have a new hat.